The only place you get truth, justice, in the Big Sills way is right here on the National Football Show. You know, I don't know, but how come every single time I listen to Nick Sirianni, I absolutely feel dumber? Why in the world? Why listen to the guy? And when I listen to him, I feel dumber. We always start the program off, of course. Big Sills and we are powered by our friends at BetUS. So we appreciate that. Make sure you check out the website. Look at Joe, brand new member. Xander, throw up Jason too, man. He's now a new member here, or he's upped his membership. Fantastic, Jason. Way to kick ass, man. Thank you very much. We appreciate all your support. Hey, I also want to do this. Xander, do we have the dude's uniform that ended up getting the Barkley stuff, man? When we get that up, I'd like to celebrate that as well. Really cool stuff here. And congratulations. You end up winning yourself a Saquon Barkley, man. Nice job, man. Shout out to Jameson. Look at that. Look at that Barkley jersey. My only question with Saquon Barkley, stop talking to New York Giant guys, Malik Neighbors. I know you missed the fact that, you know, that you're not a Giant anymore, but you're kicking ass with the Eagles. Leave those guys alone here. But congratulations to you, man. Proud winner of the Saquon Barkley jersey. You might be giving a lot more of them out this season because this guy's killing it. Again, Joe, thank you again for becoming a member. We really appreciate that, dude. You don't know how far that goes. Growing the show, growing the channel, doing all that great stuff. We appreciate it. The Buck game's going to be an interesting ball game. I think it's going to be an interesting game. We're going to get a little bit more later on, I'm assuming, on the injury front here when it comes to the Eagles putting those names out. We're also going to talk a little bit about what Nick Fangio and what Kellen Moore said. Really, really odd. The offensive dynamics. I'm more confident on the defensive side now. And you got lesser talent over there. So we'll go back and forth with that here in a second, bud. I mean, how do you feel going into this Buck game? Concerned? Nervous? Oh, Battle Royale at 4:30. Mark Holmes will do the walk of shame for the Cowboys. Philly 500 has to feel a pretty good star is over his head right now with his Eagle performance against the Saints. Xander, of course, will be at 3:30, but the walk of shame with the Dallas Cowboys honk, Mark Holmes, that'll be at 4:30. So interesting to see what we have there with that. So, guys, please do me a favor. Hit the like button. You absolutely are killing it this week so far. How do you feel about going into this game, though? How do you feel about it going into this Buck game? I really think it's got a lot to do with who's going to be showing up this weekend at Raymond James. You know, the Bucks look mediocre. Ian Beckles yesterday, part of the broadcast team, former Buck himself, lives down in Tampa. I mean, they're 2-1, but I think they're getting away with good coaching and timely play. They got a good secondary. The receivers are exceptional. Mike Evans is going to be a problem, okay? Who guards him in the slot? Gardner Johnson? Avonte Maddox? Who guards Mike Evans? Okay? Who guards Mike Evans this weekend? Tell me. Maxson says you're going to move. Oh, so Maxson, you want to move Mitchell over to the slot? Mitchell. Crowley, you want him to come off the numbers? Bond cannot cover Mike Evans. Don't kid yourself. Okay? Don't kid yourself. Zach Bond cannot cover Mike Evans. Absolutely not. I don't think Slay can. Slay's not a slot cover corner. Reed? You think Reed Blankenship can cover Mike Evans? I don't know if Slay's out yet. That's got yet to be determined here today and tomorrow. We'll find out, maybe even game time. That's right, Senor. They also have Chris Godwin, too, who's a heck of a receiver. Keely Ringo on Mike Evans? You guys are proving a point here. You don't have a guy to cover Mike Evans. Mike plays out of that slot a lot. He does line up on the numbers. He does go over to the numbers sometimes. Got to throw someone at him. That's right. Ted's the Jew's right. Got to put someone over there. I want to put maybe my best guy over there. Crazy says double him. Not a bad idea, but Chris Godwin can make plays too. Okay? Who covers Saquon, Sills? Absolutely. Hey, I'm just talking on the defensive side here. I haven't gotten over there yet. There's mismatches on the other side too. They do have a pretty good safety. The Buccaneers have a pretty good safety in secondary. It's not awful. Q on Mike, Slay on Godwin. Okay, I like that. Christopher, thank you very much for the super chat. Hey, listen here. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying what's the matchup? Because Vic's going to try to put that together on what the matchup is. Okay? That Q on Evans. Hey, how about this? Maybe you shadow him. Yeah, well, hey, Joho. Denver has Patrick Surtain. Okay? And the other guy on the other side ain't that bad. You don't have those guys. You don't have Patrick Surtain. Let's get yourself, you may think Q may one day be that guy, but he ain't that guy now. He gets beaten often. I mean, let's be real here. Joho's trying to compare Patrick Surtain to Quinyon Mitchell. That ain't happening. Okay? It's a good conversation. You know, it's been a Rubik's Cube so far these first 3 weeks. So I think there's some merit to putting Mitchell on Evans all day. I shadow him. I might shadow him all over the field with him. Tell the kid to stay with him all day. His only responsibility would be to cover him. I agree, Bob. I agree. Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Honestly, Q has been a breath of fresh air. Amen. And no question, he's better than I thought he was. Okay, Christopher? Christopher, I'll relent. He's better than I thought he was. And he's more prepared for the NFL than I thought he would be. He's better than I thought. He's playing so well. For a rookie, I think he's playing exceptional. Honestly, playing like a top DB in the league. He is. He's only going to get better. Christopher, no question about it. No question about it. I am thrilled with the development and the play of Quinyon Mitchell. Has he been beat? Yes. Has he made great plays? Yes. Has he looked like a rookie? No. That's what you have here with Quinyon Mitchell. He's not playing like a rookie. Here, watch this. Better than Arnold? We'll see. He's out to a fast start. The same way that Jaden Daniels is out to a fast start over Caleb Williams? Yeah, absolutely. I think he's out to a better start. I do. Both teams are 2-1. I thought Arnold played better in the second half of that Rams game. Okay, I mean, I didn't think he played exceptionally well in that Buccaneer loss. But he's not hurting them. He's playing very well, too, for the Detroit Lions. It's going to be an interesting battle all year long on which guy was the better guy or who had the better rookie year. I think he's playing well. I think Q's playing better, I believe. Okay? I think he's playing better. Yeah. Jaden Daniels is playing better than Allen. Hey, you guys want to laugh a little bit here? Jane Daniels sucked out loud in game 1, was decent in game 2, was exceptional in game 3. Josh Allen has more touchdowns in one half than Hurts has all year. So let's be real here. Playing better than Josh. Nobody's playing better football than Josh Allen. Nobody. Not even Mahomes. Check the stats. Get this, folks. This guy says that Jaden Daniels is playing better than Josh Allen. That just shows you how fucked up stats can make it look. Really. So you think he's the leading candidate for the MVP. Not true. Nobody would have Jaden Daniels playing better football than a guy with no turnovers. He's played exceptional in every game. And there ain't no Terry McLaurin on that team. How you doing? Josh Allen. What a stud. What a stud. Hey, Flexin, it's about time you stop talking like a girl. Get your ass back to talking football instead of talking to that moron. That's what he's trying to do, is take you off the ball here. Don't listen to those morons. Talking stupid. You guys need a room. This is man talk, right, Sue? Don't talk like that guy. That guy's a loser. Yeah, I love you, Sil. Fuck you. Okay. Give me a break. Anybody talking wormy like that? You and Don Lemon need to go find a chat room somewhere. Do you think college players are going to be poorly conditioned and less developed when they enter the NFL? Yeah! Because they got to rotate them. Absolutely. All these Georgia guys aren't ready to play. Okay? Absolutely. Guys, please hit the like button. Thank you, guys. All right. So who do you want to go into first? Kellen Moore, or do you want to go into Vic Fangio? Let's do Vic, because I think Kellen actually said something for the first time that mattered. Joshua, I agree 100% with you, dude. Evans is going to be the key cover in this game. Okay? It's not, no. Nakobe Dean is playing excellent. Sills doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not fucking playing excellent. He just looks like he's playing excellent because you have sorry-ass linebackers. He's okay right now. He's not playing excellent football. How many times do they target that guy when they want to get a completed pass? Every day? He can't cover. Holy shit. You think that Kobe Dean's playing excellent football, then you don't know what line. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You and me don't know what we're talking about. Okay? Sorry, Sills. Every year you howl for Josh Allen. Yet still every year he makes you look like a. How's he make me look like a fool? Because he plays in the AFC and he gets beat by Mahomes or Burrow or one of them guys like Lamar. Your guy gets fucking beat by Baker Mayfield and Drew Lock. Give me a break, guy. You kidding me? I mean, you got beat by Kirk Cousins. It's not getting crazy here. Your guy is the most turnovers in the NFL in 2 years. Let's hang in there before you start barking like that. Holy shit. He's white in official scratch. How about that, Sam? The Buccaneers are not even going to get a chance to see Devin White. Devin White, I guarantee you, this is going to go over not well with this guy because he's a healthy scratch against the Bucs. He's not even going to be on the active roster. Holy shit. Look at M. Reyes, number 2 offense, and the quarterback is the worst turnover machine in the league. What's that tell you? They'd be better if you had a better guy. Can you believe it? You got the highest turnover quarterback in the league and you're second in offense. Congratulations to you. Sounds very productive. You got a quarterback that's turned the ball over more than any quarterback in 2 years. And you got the second ranked offense. How fucked up is that? I mean, I don't know, man. You tell me. right? You had someone better or playing better, you'd be all right. Let's see here. Sills, how crazy would it be to run the 5 DL, 1 linebacker, 5 DBs, Q on Evans all day, keep moving Bond all over? We can handle the run and have 4 other DBs to clog the zones. That's kind of what I said last week when you were talking about covering the Saints. Let's see here. Sills, when are we going to see Isaiah Rodgers? I thought we were going to see a little bit of him, Cosmo, last week. I did. Everyone was ready to jump ship on Carter, not me. Hey, Chip. I mean, jump ship? What are you talking about? Well, you know what's crazy about you guys? You guys will take 4 quarters of football and erase shitty football for the last year and a half. You'll look at 4 quarters of football, Chip, and think the remedy is fixed and the illness is fixed. How fucked up is that? Hey, he was dominant. What about the last 13, 14 games that this guy has played? He's had 4 quarters of great football in 15 games. And you think it's fixed? How? How do you think that's fixed? You forgot Allen lost to Mac Jones last year, Russell Wilson, the quarterback you make fun of every day. Oh, and by the way, your guy lost to Drew Lock, Tyrod Taylor, and a pizza guy. Hey, dude, stop it. He's not better. You stop it. You sound like Nick Sirianni, a fool. Every time you fucking say that, you sound like a fool. Okay? You sound stupid. It really. Carter needs to show that for a season, then I'll buy it. Jersey. There you go. Hey, Jersey, would you not agree here with this? The guy who showed consistency all year last year out of the defensive tackle position was Fletcher Cox. Okay? Don't you agree? I mean, it was Fletcher. Fletcher was the guy that did it, right? Dan can't handle the truth? What truth? Hurts is not better, dude. And it's not a debate. It's not a debate. It's not a debate. It's only a debate with idiots like you. Nobody on the planet would trade Jalen Hurts for Josh Allen. The Bills would laugh at you. They would laugh at you. And so would every other team laugh at you. They would never do that. Hey, dude, Des, I'm with you. This chat loves punishment comparing Jalen to Mahomes and Josh Allen. Dude, is it not funny? Just listening to the ignorance and the pretending. It's just like not true. There you go, Samuel. Samuel, that is my number one creed when it comes to football players. That's right. Show me consistency, man. Be great every day. Be great every week. That's when you're going to find out what kind of football player you have. One thing Jalen Carter has shown, he's shown inconsistency this year. Great game, bad game, decent game. And get this, you got guys in here that will say that Jalen Carter's turned it around. How do you turn it around when you have 3 different games? Decent game, horrible game, great game. That's who he's been so far this year. Why can't you get that through your head? He has not put 2 great games together in a year. The Buccaneer game is going to be a great test for him. He should dominate this game. I don't really think they got people at the guard position that can handle him. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. Okay? Hurts isn't better than Allen. But let's not forget the same thing we jump on Hurts for now. We killed Allen for as well. He too was a turnover machine at one point. Hey, Brian, I still think he is. He'll turn the ball over again in stretches this year. Brian, that's not going to go away. The two things that those guys have in common, they turn the ball over and win. That's what separates those two compared to like Trevor Lawrence, who turns the ball over and loses. How many interceptions did Allen throw last year? 18, and you still praise him. Hurts had 15. The only one who had more than Allen was Sam Howell. He also had 40 touchdowns, 44 touchdowns total himself, and 4,300 passing yards, and he won the East again. Your guy didn't win his division, was beat in the playoffs by Baker Mayfield. The fuck are you talking about? He's a one-man machine in Buffalo. There's nothing in Buffalo but him. He doesn't have a $200 million offense. For Hurts and the weapons he has, for him to turn the ball over as much as he have, it's criminal. I get it. I understand the turnovers in Buffalo. There's no one there. He's throwing to Paris Campbell. He's throwing to Jahan Dotson, and he's throwing to Johnny Wilson in Buffalo. He does that every week. He doesn't have Devontae Smith. He doesn't have A.J. Brown. He doesn't have, well, wait, that Kincaid kid is pretty good. And the back is good. I don't even know how I get into this fucking idiotic conversation. Honestly, man, it's like comparing Giselle to a fat chick. Give me a break. Like I said yesterday, Hurts is a Jetta. That guy is a Bugatti. End of story. I'm not fucking having this debate again. Because you know why? You lower my intelligence every single time I have this shitty debate. So we're going to move on here to Vic Fangio. Good God. Your guy is a turnover fucking machine who can't throw the ball. End of story. End of story. Okay? Daniel Jones a Jetta. Hurts is an S-Class Mercedes. Are you kidding me? That guy's one of those C-Class Beamers. And by the way, the one you buy at an auction for 18 grand. You know that, hey, maybe it had a little bit of dents in it and you bought it at an auction. Give me a break. The guy's a Jetta. That's what he is. He's a Jetta. All right, let's move on here. Holy cow, I just lost 5 minutes of my life that I wish I got back. Good grief. God, can I get 5 minutes of my life back here talking about Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen? Oh, my God. Oh, man. It gets funnier when you see that shit. We love our fat chicks in Philly, Sills. Good point. Hey, Jacob, can I tell you a little secret here? You ready? Here's a little secret for you. If you want to be miserable your entire life, you marry a hot chick. If you want to be loved and fed, you marry a fat chick. Just a little advice from Big Sills. That's all I'm saying here. Belichick and Travis Hunter in Dallas next season. Boy, I tell you, man, you guys already given up. It's 3 games in. 304. Really? Hey, 304. You already waving the white flag? Get Gabe Super Chat. Abe Super Chat. Allen went against rookie defenses versus the Jags. Dolphins blow without Tua. Only won by 6 versus Kyler Murray. Allen hasn't even played against a good defense yet. Sure, Abe. You're right. Hurts is better. Josh Allen. Hurts. It gets me every time. Hey, I know. I appreciate that, Abe. Thank you very much for the super chat, but I don't care. I just, what you think. You lower your intelligence by yourself, Sills. No, I lower my intelligence by fucking acknowledging you, princess. God, I hate that guy. Oh, Prince. Oh, Prince. Hey, Sills, I didn't know your wife was so pretty. What the F does she want with you? Nah, the guy she married, man, I hate him. I'm no longer that guy. She says the same thing. What the hell ever happened to the guy I married? Yeah, my wife's a smoke show. What'd you expect me to do? Okay. Ask a guy his height and weight like Princess. Hey, Sills, how tall are you? Heels or no heels? I mean, hey, what's this? Hey, Flexin. Hey, how tall are you, Flexin? And what's your favorite color? Yellow? Purple? Let me see. Aqua? I'm trying to get that flag thing. McCarthy stinks more than Hurts. Wow. 304 is really going off all in on the Cowboys. Holy shit. Holy cow. Oh, man. All right. Come on now, man. Let me get. Hey, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. You know, rainbows and butterflies. I get it. Okay. That's right. This is exactly correct here. Remember what Vic said? I'll see what we are week 8. If we're inconsistent, still where 2023 was. Absolutely, Samuel. You're dead on. Oh, God. Let me hit wing on. Hang on. Here's Prince. Excuse me. Wait, one more. Let me say. Sills, you hate not being able to tie your own shoes. You hate not seeing your lower body. TD. Was that Prince's take? Every time Prince does that now, I'm going to barf. Hey, every time Prince talks, I'm going to throw up in his mask. Okay. Let's actually get to something that's more intelligent than like something that you would have in a bag of beans like Prince's brain. Okay? Let's talk some intelligent football here. Okay? Unlike Prince, who has no brains whatsoever. This we'll get to what Vic Fangio said here. The coordinators had a chance to speak, and I wanted to dissect it. Okay? Oh, God, no way. Howie was spotted in the locker room last week with a rule in your Huff's locker. When asked what he learned, he said, he ain't it. Kenny rubbing off on Howie. Kenny rubbing off. Oh, my God. Very good. Oh, man. Hey, Prince, sticks and stones may break my bones, but your bullshit will never resonate with Big Sills. Ever. 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 Call all the names you want. I know I'm the big, bad boogeyman of Philly. It's okay. Okay? I know that. Look at this, man. I got everybody in here today. Go to Vic. I really liked what Vic Fangio said. I really did. Guys, please hit the like button. Guys have really been super this week here. Played with great energy from start to finish. He really, hey, get this, putting a big body out there on the perimeter there with Milton Williams. Milton Williams is earning some money. Okay, he's earning some money. You know why? He's shown he could play at the nose, 3 technique. and he's also playing a 5 technique. Okay? This guy's showing he could play all these techniques. This guy going to make some money. This guy's going to make some money here. Senor goes like this. Seals, are you picking the Bucks so you could be 0-4 picking Eagles games this year? I'm not 0-4. I'm not 0-4. I'm 1-2. I'm 1-2. Let me see. I thought you could beat Green Bay. I thought you'd win Atlanta, and you didn't. Oh, maybe I am 0-3. No, wait. I picked you to win. No, I picked the Saints. You're right. I'm 0-3. Okay. You're right. I'm 0-3. Got it? Yeah, but you feel good, don't you? How you doing? All right. Hey, I understand how you like to make my show about me, but I'm trying to talk about your Eagles. Are you guys afraid? Are you guys afraid? Do you want me to talk about your Eagles, or do you want to just talk about Big Sills? Is this what you guys do? Try to think you're gonna throw. I'm not like those fuckers you have in Philly that get thrown off. I don't care about what Josh Allen. It hurts. I think it's funny. It's great content. Your idiotic takes are content. Do you understand that? Idiotic takes are content. Like M. Reyes, Sirianni owns Sills. Great. Like Xander said before the show, what a great contact. What a great content magnet he is. You know why? He's stupid. That's why. He's stupid. It's fantastic. All right. Says Brandon Graham is playing great football. Playing great football. Here's Bryce Huff and your so-called executive of the year. Hey, Vic, what do you make of Bryce Huff? And he goes, yeah, we'll rotate him in with everyone else. You know, he's in the rotation. A $17.8 million rotation piece. How you doing? Holy shit. How you doing? I mean, yeah, that's some sign. $51 million of garbage. This is like Ryan Kerrigan. John has an opinion about Sirianni, and he loves him. He thinks he's the next Bill Belichick. Says, why does McMullen have no clue about what he's talking about? That's not true. With Nick and football in general. Hey, Josh, he thinks he's Andy Reid, the way he talks. I hear John McMullen talk about Nick Sirianni. He makes him sound like he's Andy Reid. That's all I hear. He sounds like Andy Reid. Well, Andy, time management issues too, made mistakes in games. And Nick Sirianni should not be compared to anybody but Brandon Staley. I completely do not agree with that. Sills, Davis is just a dude. Here's Sam. Sam, are you asking? Oh, he's asking the question. Is Davis still just a dude? I'll let you know in 3 weeks. Right now, he's just a dude that plays sometimes when he feels like it. Would that be a fair assessment of him, Sam? He plays when he feels like it. Or do you take 60 minutes of football and say that he's played great ball since he's been an Eagle? Sam, I'll let you answer this and how I should feel. Okay? Sam, you think he's fixed it in one game? Wow. Okay. He plays when he wants. That's how I see him. You know what's more troubling about what you see with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter? If you don't play like that all the time, then to me, I have a bigger problem with you. You're not living up to your talent. Don't you? That's the troubling thing about that New Orleans game. You mean to tell me that Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter can play like that and they don't all the time? That's an indictment on them. You got to play. Hey, for the Eagles to be a championship football team and their linebackers to play great and help Nakobe Dean out, those two dudes have to play like that every night. And we're sitting here giving hall passes because these two guys lived up to their expectations for 60 minutes of football, and you want to give them roses and you want to give them love? That's obnoxious to me. That's a lazy take. Carter and Davis are back. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's more of an indictment when you see Atlanta. Then you watch New Orleans and you go, why can't you do that every game? Why can't you play like that all the time? Why? Do you think Bond can replace TJ's total tackles? Hey, Dez, I think that Zach Bond can be utilized the same way that you had Teddy Bruschi up in New England or Mike Vrabel and guys like that played up in that system where you can just move these guys 34, 43, 62, 52 and just move them all over the room when it comes to playing different schemes and fronts. Okay? Sam, I think Davis has greatly underperformed. He completely has. That's why, again, let's do this here, Sam. Let's see in 3 weeks how he's played from that New Orleans game. If he builds off the New Orleans game and he continues to get better, being one of the better defensive tackles in the league, then yes, he has righted the ship. But until then, that's a one-up for me. Because here, once again, is this not Jalen Carter's season so far? Ready? Okay game, Green Bay. Horrible game, Atlanta. Phenomenal game against the Saints. Well, who is he? Well, who is he? That's inconsistency. 3 games are a trend. Okay? Now, the positive side of that his latest effort was his best effort. Okay, fair enough. And I'll concede that. It wasn't like he played great in week 1 and then went the opposite way. Okay? But he's had a stinker in the middle of a good game, horrible game, great game. Brian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hurts groupie sad. All these fan girls have their boyfriend quotes tatted on their lower backs. Standard is the standard. Trust the preparation. Brian. Are you saying they have a tramp stamp on their back that's got Jalen's face? I bet you Xander has one. No holes defense. See, man, this guy can shut the shuttle down on me, man. Before you know it, I'm Challenger. How you doing? Too soon? All right. Hit the like button. Oh, man. Daniel, thanks for coming aboard, guys. Please hit the like button. But how would you like to have to get in front? How would you like to have to get in front of the media if you're Vic Fangio and go, yeah, Bryce Huff is in the rotation. It's like saying, hey, Mike Tomlin, what do you think of TJ Watts? Yeah, he's in the rotation. He's a really good ball player. He's in there with 17 other guys. What? Hey, I thought this guy was supposed to replace Hassan Reddick. Hey, you know what? In theory, he has, because Reddick ain't playing. Hey, in theory, he has. Hey, get this, man. He was asked the question about Gardner Johnson and his fat gator mouth. And you know what he said? He goes, yeah, I've had conversations. He brings a great energy to it. But then he was asked, have you talked to him? He goes, yeah, don't do anything stupid. So he's had to talk to him. And again, it's a gator, no discipline. They think they're better than they are, and they're not. He's a good player, but he's a gator. At the end of the day, they all think they're better than they are. Gators are not that good, okay? They think they are. So, sometimes he gets a 46-yard scalping when he comes to a guy blowing him up in the pass game. They'll turn around and they'll make a great play in the run. Okay? He'll make a great play in the run. A typical Gator, hot, cold. Howie Roseman, good sign, bad sign. Good pick, bad pick, bad pick. That's Howie. Good pick, bad pick, bad pick, especially on defense. No, more on this on defense. Good pick, bad pick, bad pick, bad pick, bad pick, bad pick, good pick. That's Howie on defense. Oh. Okay. See here. I honestly feel Sirianni and his lack of proper conditioning in preseason and training camp has had an impact on the Eagles' offense and defense. You know what, though, dude? At the end of the day, I will say this. They're looking at availability, but now you've got injuries. Here, just to show you that it's all luck. How many people believe injuries are luck? I'm going to show you how it's luck. These guys played no preseason, and they're hurt everywhere at every level. Receiving core may not have the entire 3 guys going down. They're not going to have one of them, Britton Covey. You may go down to Tampa with no wide receiving core of any experience whatsoever. Lane may be out. Let's see. Gardner Johnson, I don't know. Is Slay playing? Okay. By the way, I watched that Slay play. You know what I would have done? What was that offensive lineman's leg? What was that offensive lineman's name that did that to Darius Slay? I don't usually talk how I'm going to talk here, but who's that guy that did that to Darius Slay? That drove him out of bounds like that. What was his name? Penning? Thanks, Josh. I would have looked over at my defensive line partner, Jerome Brown, and I would have said, let's high-low this guy. And I would have tried to hurt you. You hurt my teammate like that on purpose? Well, you're going to get it fucking back on you. This game's tough enough. You're not trying to injure anybody. You're trying to play hard against them. But when you take it overboard, you know what this is called? Hammurabi's Code. You do that to my boy, be prepared to have this happen to you. You bring a knife to a fight, I'm bringing a gun. You want to put me in the hospital? Taken out of Untouchables here. You want to put me in the hospital? I'm going to put you in the fucking morgue. Don't do that shit to my guy. Don't do that to my guy. I would have high-lowed him and tried to hurt him. Like North Dallas 40. I mean, they were trying to hurt him. They already had taken it out on Smitty. That's how you know that game, and the Saints were playing bounty ball in that game against the Eagles. That was a bounty game. You high-load Devontae. You threw Darius Slay out. There's no question that those guys were playing bounty ball in that game. They were cheap. He drove him to the bench. There's no reason for that unless you're trying to hurt somebody. I hope the league finds that guy Penning for that because that was intentional. The hit on Devontae Smith looks intentional to me. And then when you put it all together, you see it. By the way, I thought some of the pass rushes that got around Hurts' legs, I thought those guys were trying to go towards his knees. Okay? Thank God. Slay went for an MRI, came back negative. I would have tried to hurt that guy Penning. I would have tried to blow his knee up. You're going like this. Damn. Well, what? He was trying to hurt him and throw him out of the game. Those guys made sure they took Smitty out. What do you think this is here, man? What do you think this is like? There's Queensberry rules in football? If I could pick a chair up and hit you over the head with it, I would. If it were legal, I would. I'm trying to get every advantage I can. That's what Penning was doing. Damn, dude. That's right, Tank. Saints have a history of that shit. Hey, Lord Vaughn, who has 0 takes, has a good one. They played that bullshit ball and lost. What an absolute kick to the balls that is. You played dirty like that and still lost. I thought that was a dirty ball game by them. You go back and you watch that 22, man, it was all over the place. that I thought there was cheap shots and late hits, especially on the perimeter and on the sidelines. That hit on Smitty had my blood boiling. I thought it was cheap. I said it when it happened. Stills, did you see that last 2-point conversion? 93 was twisting Barkley's ankle. I saw that. Saints organization are a bunch of scumbags. Brian, I saw that too, and I was like, put it all together, and you try to tell me if they weren't playing bounty ball. You had that. Brian, great observation. I saw that, the Slay play, the Devontae Smith, some of the pass rushes on Hurts, the late hits on Hurts. By the way, the referees do not call enough late hits on Jalen. I mean, he gets hit good. Didn't Sean Payton get suspended for putting his hits out on his players? Yeah. Mickey Loomis did too, the GM, and also Greg Williams was suspended. Okay? Yes. Hey, Akbar, I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but you hurt one of my guys, I'm going to fucking come for your guy. You can promise you that. I would never let that go. The thing on Slay is more egregious because he was trying to injure him. Dude, what are you doing 10 yards out of bounds trying to drive him into the bench? On top of the Smitty hit, on top of the other stuff that was going on in the game. You know what? To Xander's point, now I know why Jalen Carter was fired up after the game. He was fired up because that was a dirty game, man. That's as dirty as a football game. You know, people are going like this. That was a hard-hitting game. It was. It was a dirty, hard-hitting game. I mean, NFL is supposed to get rid of that shit. That's right, Mark. Mark, I ain't trying to hurt anybody. You did that to my guy, Darius Slay. I'm going to look over at Jerome. I'm going to go, we're going to high-low this guy. And if this guy's knee goes, that's it. I don't care. And Jerome would do it. Broke Troy Aikman's leg doing this. And Oklahoma guys thought that they were going to be fucking dirty. Broke Aikman's leg. Fucking do that. Play around like that. Not in a game like that that's already physical like that. Don't fuck with me like that because I will do something illegal to you. Love the energy, Sills. I agree. Carter and Davis should have taken his ass out. Don't do that, man. And, dude, it's a tough game. No one's trying to hurt anybody. The Saints were. The Saints were. I don't know how anybody doesn't see that. You know, funny, I was talking like this once on WQAM in Miami. And I was using metaphors. Stab him. Kick him in the nuts. Hit him with a chair. And, of course, the snowflake people were like, damn, Sills wants to cut his throat? It's a metaphor, dude. It's a mentality you have to have. You hurt my guy, I'm injuring your guy, and I'm going to put him in the hospital. Every single Eagle fan, that's right, Sue, saw that shit. And after I thought about it with Carter being on the sidelines upset like that, I don't think he was upset because people were saying he sucked against Atlanta. I think he was out there because he saw all the bullshit that was going on out there on both sides of the ball, and it fired him up. I think those guys had a right to be a little pissed off at the end of that game. I'd like to see the Saints again. If I were the Eagles, boy, would I want a piece of their ass again. And this time, there's going to be some justice come back here. Hammurabi's code's going to come back. Oh, absolutely. Fitness. I thought Carter punked that entire old line. They couldn't block him. Guys, I don't like to talk like this, but that's how you got to be out there. One of your guys gets owned like that and unprofessionally, no way. No way. The league don't want you taking justice in your – I don't care. Hey, how do you think James Harrison would have handled that? How do you think James Harrison would have handled that? Somebody done that to, like, Sayamalo. Or not Sayamalo. Troy Polamalu. What do you think he would have done if they had done something like that to Troy Polamalu? What do you think James Harrison would have done? James Harrison might have picked him up and killed him. You're not doing that to a guy like that with his guys. He'd have taken him over his knee. Oh, it was a dirty game. Hard hitting, yes. Dirty, yes. Guys, please do me a favor and hit the like button. Felt the same, Sills. Disappointed by the Eagles. You have to fight back in those situations. The same thing against the Niners. Can't let yourself get bullied. That's right. Hey, man, I don't mind a team beating me. I mind a team beating me up. Okay? And to Lord Vaughn's say, they lost in the process. It just shows you how pissed off those guys must have been. That's another. Holy shit, Lord Vaughn coming in, and this is a record breaker for him. 2 in a row. Barkley went for 65 yards on the next play on hate alone. Holy shit, Lord Vaughn, 2 in a row. Sills, Troy would have taken shit into his own hands. Probably so. Probably so. No way. No way can you have that. Guys, your super chats mean so much to us. Thank you. Oh, hey, James. He did destroy them. They went after the smallest guys on the field after the play. Carter bullied their biggest players during the game. Saints are scum losers. RTF. Dude, Jalen Carter made me more upset after his performance against the Saints. I need that every night. I don't want to call you Jerome Brown's clone and then you put in an Atlanta performance. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, okay? Jordan Davis is the biggest disappointment so far because I saw him run down Josh Allen and pull him down like you had a tiger taking down an antelope. And he made that play, and I said, that's fucking unbelievable. Somebody that runs and moves like that, it takes a 6'5.5", 6'6" guy down and just pulls him down by the antlers like that. And then you watch some of the pathetic football he plays, and you're like, damn, guy, you can't be that bad. You're not that bad. Mozzie Smith is horrible. Okay? He's horrible. Carter's not, and Davis aren't. Stop playing to it. It's almost like sometimes they play down to their competition. Sills, what would Ray Lewis do in that sit? Ray Lewis, hey, guys, have you ever seen what that guy did to Ray Lewis? Or no, excuse me, Ed Reed. Did you ever see that YouTube thing that when Ed Reed got held by the Colts? Did you ever see that, what he did? He went and searched that dude out, and he knocked that guy out. Ed Reed knocks Colts player out on punt return. Dude, he went and looked for that guy, and he went and knocked this guy out. And it was insane what he did. Here's Justice. Goes looking for him. That's my Justice. Of course, he's a hurricane. That's my Justice. How you doing, boy? How you doing? That's how you take care of shit. Right there. Okay? Held him. Holding ref. He went and looked that guy out there, man. That guy was like a cruise missile. And he just took that dude out. He ain't worrying about a ref or fines or nothing. You ain't doing that shit to me, dog. That's what made those Ravens teams frightening. Hey, boy. Them guys that took care of business. That's my kind of Justice. Hey, you think I talk like that? Those guys play like that. Okay? Hey, shut up, Twiz. Kiss my ass. All right. Here's Vic, some more. He said we cleaned up the run game, man. That's why everything was better. Pass rush was better. Tackling was better. He says it's the best game of the year by far for Carter. He goes, what triggered it? I don't know. This is what he said about Reed Blankenship. Great hands. Got a great feel for the game. You have to have players like that on your team. Quite a compliment. He said the one thing that the Saints didn't do that a lot of teams do, the Bucs will play 11 personnel. The Saints weren't in 11 personnel a lot. That's why they were able to have the defensive front that they played in this game against the Saints was because of that. They weren't in 11 personnel. Okay? Flexing goes like this. She'll be so mad. Here's what Flexing wants to play the game. Excuse me, sir. Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm going to be playing the left defensive tackle over you, and you're going to be the right guard. And I just want you to know, hey, I hope you have a really great game, and I hope things work out for you. Nobody gets hurt. You know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. But hey, this is how Flexing would introduce himself. My name is Bob Britches, softest britches. They call me in the huddle and in the locker room, softest britches. And I just want you to know that, hey, I'm looking for a real skillful game, and I'm looking for a real, sportsmanship type of game. I hope everything works out for you, man. Good luck to you, and may the best team win. I'd be like, I hope I kill you in this game. And hey, he wants to go, hey, how you doing, man? Hey, I heard the wife and the family's in the stands here. I hope after the game we can change jerseys or swap spit or do something. Anything you want to do? Hey, let's have a good sportsmanship game. May the best man win. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right, too. Clairvoyant, you got to have one of those, like, limp handshakes. You know, like Princess. You got to do like a limp. I'm sure Princess has a limp handshake. You know, hey, nice to meet you. What is that at the end? Is that a fish head? You know those guys that have them fish head handshakes? Like a fish head at the end, you know? You're like, dude, please. It's like, I don't even want to do it. It's like a fish head. So we didn't clean up the run game. We overloaded the line, true, to compensate for the poor run D. It worked, but if we need to run 5 DLs, we're going to be exposed in the back end. Yeah, with a quarterback, that's right, for sure. Okay? How you doing, dead fish head? Silts, it's a lot dirtier than we've seen. The latest video slowed down, shows their player diving at Smitty on the ground without his helmet, unconscious. After the play was over, then spits on him. Dude, I know a dirty game when I see it, don't you think? I know when a dirty play and dirty game is going on. I've been involved in them. I know when I see a dirty game. That was a dirty ball game. Dirty, dirty, dirty. By the way, said that the Zach Bond is going to continue to get better. He doesn't make the same mistake twice. His football instincts are really exceptional. He's been really I'll tell you what, man, if you had to rank the biggest surprises, Barkley, even with the reputation, I'm surprised. Zach Bond, I am exceptionally surprised. Quinyon Mitchell, I'm surprised. I was surprised by Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen. That's about it. Okay? That's about it. Okay? Let's see here. Now we go to Kellen Moore. This was way more interesting. By the way, Xander at the bottom of the hour here. This was way more interesting because now we're getting a collective understanding of what goes on here. And boy, I'll tell you what, I had a guy tweet me over on X at Dan Sileo show. And you know what he was saying? Kellen Moore seems to have an understanding on being a head coach. And I was like this, really? Okay. Here's Kellen Moore. Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen were phenomenal stepping in and playing. Okay? I agree. Stoutland does something that I just absolutely love that most coaches will never do. So let me get this right. Jeff Stoutland rotates players in practice, first and second and third team guys with the first unit. That is so unbelievably great, and I never thought of it. Most coaches don't do that. That means you're prepared on what, and you're involved in the game plan. Unleash the Occidental guy, Jalix Hunt. Why not? You might get more out of him than you're getting out of that Puffin stuff. That is so great at coaching by Jeff Stoutland. So get this. So when you're doing first team reps, Lane Johnson, Mulata, Landon, you're preserving him, and yet you're getting the other guys game reps and getting them prepared to play when sometimes they won't even play, but they're getting them prepared. That's great. That is just absolutely sensational coaching. Sensational coaching. I love that, man. Hey, Jeff Stoutland every week proves his money and why he's the best coach you've had in the building since Jim Johnson. He is an absolutely sensational offensive line coach. Just a great position coach. Here's where it gets murky. When asked the question about when Nick makes a call, it's collaborative at times. We team up and we have a great connection with our coaching staff, and it's a collaborative effort in play calling. That's why it's inconsistent. You don't have a leader whatsoever. Kellen Moore's not the offensive coordinator. Then who is? This is the same shit as last year, just with a more experienced coordinator in the building. That's bullshit. So you don't let Kellen Moore have the final say on the plays. Nick has him still. Guy's going to cost you more games. He did a year ago. This guy, hey, anytime he's in control of the play calling, Nick Sirianni was 2-5, and last year he was 11-6. Put that together. Okay? I mean, dog. This guy's 13-12 as a play caller. I mean, it's collaborative. So wait a minute. When Kellen Moore gets a play and sends it in, who sends the play in? Kellen? Aren't we back to Brian Johnson being told what plays to run by Nick? What's different? What's different? Kellen has more design plays. What's different? When Nick has the final say. You know, Kellen Moore actually didn't want to answer who has the final autonomy and what plays. He didn't want to answer it, and he didn't answer it. He didn't want to answer it. That's how I heard it. He didn't want to say Nick has final say. Because if he had final say, he would just say, I do. Why wouldn't he say I do? Because he doesn't. Nick Sirianni has final say in what play goes in. And I guarantee you that was part of the hiring. That Nick had final say when it came to game situation plays. And Kellen, who had been released his last two jobs, was okay with it. Had to be. It's easy to say, do you have final say? I guarantee you Vic Fangio has final say. There ain't nobody in the booth to sit there and give him any collab. Remember what he said? Nobody's giving me input of what I'm going to call. I'm calling this thing. That's not how that goes on offense. So to your guy's point, do you think the offense will get better? The offense may get better because of health, but it's not going to get better because you have too many roosters in the hen house. You have too many guys making decisions on what plays to run. And then you have the ultimate worst decision maker making them in critical plays and in critical times of the game in the 2-minute drill and also down in the red zone. This is no better than 23, except for the fact you got a better play caller in Kellen Moore, who's kind of the play caller. I mean, he said it. Kellen Moore said it. Is it Sirianni or is it Jalen really that limited? I think it's got a lot to do with the multiple voices in the kid's ear. Get this. Here again is why M. Reyes is an idiot. You guys were 8th last year, too. What were you guys? 5th in scoring, and you sucked. Oh, the defense. No, the quarterback stunk. And the quarterback's leading the NFL or second in the league in turnovers. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to throw for a lot of yards, and you're going to turn the ball over a ton. Welcome to Jameis Winston's world. Congratulations. You look like Jameis Winston with the Bucs. 30-30 club. Okay. That's right, Jonathan. Now we know why Kingsbury wasn't hired. I think it's got a lot to do with Stoutland, too. I'm a little bit, if that was really, I haven't confirmed that, but I heard that. Okay? Yeah. Look at this, Samuel. Yeah. Eating W's in spite of your coaching and your quarterback play. Sills, the only input Nick should have with plays is telling Moore, I want to be aggressive here. We've got 2 downs to get this. Moore needs to make the call on the play. Hey, Bob, you know that play where they went like the 4th down thing? The only thing you were going to gain out of it was a yard, maybe. What were you trying to do? The in-game situational play calling is weird. Like, they say they talk this shit out all week. How did you come up with that was a right move at that moment? Where was the thinking? Okay, you don't have your top player. Your quarterback has been struggling in turnovers. Your defense is playing lights out. Why don't you just take the points and go to the locker room? You're good. What is that? I mean, what actually? Here's why I'm bringing it up. That situation will come up again in the next month because it's come up for 3 weeks. It will come up again. Hey, why do you think this? You got limited talent going into this game. We're assuming with the receivers, unless somebody gets healthy. So you're going to have limited receivers. Aren't you kicking field goals here? Any chance you get? You're getting points anytime you get. Being aggressive against the Bucs, that's not going to work. You're being aggressive with lesser players. I'm 1,000% convinced that this team's offensive flaws are on Sirianni. Our offense rolls, and then all of a sudden, it runs a design quarterback run on 3rd and 8. Christopher, damn right. The team has no chance on that side of the ball at getting consistent play. M. Reyes is right. You know what it is? They got a really great offense, but it's never a consistent offense because you have too many voices in the quarterback's ear. Or maybe I should say it this way. The coordinator has too many voices in his ear. Hey, Kellen, can you fucking make a play call by yourself, or do you really need the whole village to help you make a call? Do you understand that was part of the hiring process? That the village had to be involved in the play calling. Vic probably said, bullshit. I'm making the call. They're two different styles of coaching and your coordinators. Vic makes the call, and you got a village making the calls on your offense. How would you like to go to work having to answer to 18 different bosses when it came to executing something every single day? Be a little tiring? Be a little inconsistent? Jalen Hurts has to take more control of this. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I thought we were over this with him. And once again, got to remember something with the first three games here. This is how I look at it. Packer game, Falcon game, Saints game. How are they playing? Up and down offensively, they really showed some great growth against the Saints. This is how you look at your football team. It's not a week-to-week basis. Just like you don't look at it in baseball, one series. You look at the first 25 games, then you look at the All-Star break, then you look at some place in September at the end. Then you see if you have a team that you think can go on and win a World Series. That's the same thing in football. First quarter poll of the season, it's not about the Saints game. It's about the first three games. How are you playing? That's a trend. You want to hear, with Jalen Hurts being able to call plays, if Lurie's son here, I mean, Abe, no, they're going to call plays off that analytic sheet. They're going to call it off the analytics. Hey, do you understand what the Bucs are doing right now? They're going to take the Eagles' favorite three plays in the first three games, and they're going to put, with their analytics department, top three plays that they run that Kellen Moore likes to run. That's how you make a play sheet for your defense and offense. What fronts is Vic going to do? By the way, one thing about Todd Bowles, he is considered the best pressure defensive coach in the league. Kellen even said it. Every time I've ever gone against him, they've been different designs where the pressure comes from. He forces you to break your rules. Guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like. Xander will be at the bottom of the hour, and we will have Battle Royale. Mark Holmes will do the Walk of Shame with the Cowboys, and Philly 500 will join us. That'll be at 4:30. He makes you break rules. Todd Bowles does. Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. He knows what he's doing. He's a lot like Raheem in that attitude. And he's going to be patient. He is going to bring pressure. There is no doubt about it. He's going to bring the pressure. But it's not going to look like it did in the playoff game. All right? It's not going to look anything like that. And Kellen Moore goes like this. Every time I played him, it's been different packages that he brings pressure from. He goes, Todd is exceptional. I mean, you're constantly in a battle with him on what it's going to look like. He'll do things I've never seen because that's how he does. And that's why he's been so successful as a defensive coach. I'll tell you what, man. Those coaches on that offensive side protect that head coach. And by the way, Brandon Graham protecting Nick Sirianni. Damn, dude. Didn't realize you were a company guy too, but I'm not shocked. You're going to have lesser talent heading into this game than what you normally are. You guys are going to see the Eagle name, and you're going to assume you're a better team than the Buccaneers. Well, your skilled people aren't better. Barkley's better. Your quarterback is better. That's a huge thing. Your O-line is better. They have the better, Wirfs is the best offensive tackle, second best offensive tackle in the game right now. Tristan Wirfs is the second best tackle to Trent Williams. But they're pretty sketchy all up and down that line. Then I would say Mike Evans and Godwin are superior to anything you're going to throw at them this weekend. Now, if you had AJ and Devontae, we're talking a whole different ball of wax here. But you don't. I don't think. You may. And even if you only have one of them, you're not going to have the tandem they have. They'll be better than you at the wide receiver position. Okay? I mean, they'll be better than you. So you don't have the skilled guys except for Barkley. Your tight end, too. Hey, by the way, here's another thing with Goddard. How many people think that Goddard's situation has been resolved? I don't. That's the first game I've seen in about 20 games that he's played and that he's been a factor. Are they going to find him again? You think Todd Bowles is not going to come up with a way to shut him down? Let me tell you something. You know how you beat the Bucs? Or excuse me, now you beat the Eagles? Stop Barkley. Stop Barkley. Don't let him get crazy in the red zone. Make Hurts beat you, and he can't. Hurts can't beat you. Barkley can. Now, Hurts can hurt you with his wheels. Okay? If Hurts gets going in the run game, that opens up his passing game. He'll hurt you. Okay? He'll hurt you. But again, this is him moving around and running. And look, he's looked like 22 in the last 2 ball games. He's going to give him a chance. Okay? So, Todd Bowles is one of the better defensive coaches. And he'll come up with a design. But if you look at their personnel, I don't think they're that talented. I think they're middle of the road. But the Eagles have a lot of injuries going into this game. Like I said yesterday, and like I said to everybody, bottom line here, it's not that you're not the better team when healthy. What team's going to show up down in Tampa? Okay? What team is going to show up that you're going to dress? That's the issue here. Bob, repost what you did there. Game plan versus blitz packages, attack the cornerbacks. They will be playing man coverage, have short routes, drag routes. O-line has to max protect. Abe, well and good here, but at the end of the day, you're talking about Jahan Dotson and Paris Campbell. You're not talking about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Those guys are backups like that, and they're far from the talent that you have. So don't assume just because they wear Eagle uniforms, it's not that big a drop-off. That's a huge drop-off. Seals, after 3 games, I see Bowles focused on the run. Has to be. Because the run is what's been winning games here for this team. Look at the scoreboard. Barkley is his biggest threat with JV wide receivers we're throwing out there. We're going to see run stunts and twists to clog all the stuff and all the shit up. I'll tell you this too, Bob. That's how you get home run hits too, though. Run stunts. Kellen Moore and Jeff Stoutland, who I think will be instrumental in this game. You know how you get blitzing on run stunts? Somebody's open. And if they bring one of them linebackers and you could have a wide open 65-yard run again for Saquon Barkley in this game, and he could have a home run day where you can get a couple long runs out of him, because if you're gambling that much, you make sure you better have your safeties back there too, because your safeties, and they got a pretty good one back there, their day is going to be filled. They got to stop Barkley. Got to stop Barkley if they're going to get a chance to win. But again, the wide receiving core that Jalen's going to have in this game is going to be a JV. Seals, they will use 3 running backs and Dallas Goedert. I like that, Master Chief. I think you're right. They may even use 2 tight ends. Grant Calcaterra can't block. But Master Chief, I like that idea, because the running back room is better than anything that's in the wide receiver room right now. If you tell me, Sills, Dotson, Campbell, and Wilson, that's nobody's. Turn around and go Barkley, Gainwell, and Shipley. I'm going to take that threesome and try to make passing game and intermediate passes and short passes, because they are going to play zone. I would get those guys more involved, and Goddard. ain't got her. Like you said, Master Chief. Now, again, and plus, you know what you do too? It forces Jalen to spread the ball around more. And it's a short passing game versus going vertical. You get that going, and then you get Barkley going, the Bucs don't have a shot. I don't think. I mean, I think the Bucs are in the middle of the room. Now, again, it's 3 weeks. They've beaten Detroit. They went up there and beat them. It's a good win. So they can beat good teams. But I want to see it too. 15, 26th, 27th, many defensive stats and offensive stats. Quarterback's averaging 180 yards passing. I don't know. I mean, you got Evans and Godwin. I got it. What's the injury issue with Slay? Is he playing? Who's covering Mike Evans in the slot? That's a big concern for me. That's a big concern. Who are you covering? Vontae Maddox can't cover Mike Evans. And if you put Quinyon Mitchell on him, you got Godwin on the outside. Is Slay healthy? Or are we going to see Isaiah Rodgers this week? I think Isaiah Rodgers can handle Godwin. Godwin's not a physical receiver. I don't think. Do you think Smitty plays? Busy, I'm off that hit. Knowing the Eagles, the way they protect their guys, no way. Probably wants to play. I think it all comes down to what the grade was in his concussion. I mean, if he's cleared to play, it's going to be a game time decision. Dude, from what Diane Rossini was saying, she was talking to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown thinks that he's going to be out. If you count from the first week he's out, 3 to 6. Go from back, not 3 to 6 from here, but from when it started and he's been out. So he's probably going to go into the bye and come out. I think Cleveland's on the other side of the bye. That'd be the earliest I think that he'd be ready to rock. So Forrest goes like this. The Bucs pass defense is 24th. And what are you, 26th? So you don't have an advantage there. Pass defense. And the two quarterbacks, I think are going to have a field day completing passes. But I think Jalen's are going to be a shorter version of it. And if they get the run game going, you could get somebody going down the middle of the seam like Barkley or Goddard. Okay? Hey, guys, what are the Eagles ranked in pass defense? I'd be curious. Dan thinks defense faces defense. What a fucking jerk. This guy boggles the mind how dumb he is, JB. I mean, he can't be that stupid. Dan thinks defense plays defense. Guy, when you were dressing up football dolls, I was playing it, okay? Give me a break. Go back to playing with your G.I. Joes. They still have those? All right. 18th. Troy says 32 in pass defense. I think it's 18th also. Like, that's good. It's better than it was a year ago. 30, was it 31? 31st, something like that. It's better than what it was. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I think combination 2, Brother Hannibal. That's what I would say. Todd Bowles is going to bring a lot of heat. He really is. He's going to bring a lot of heat. Okay? He is. Guys, please hit the like button here. Before I bring Xander on, I got one last question to ask. Who do you have more of a concern with? Going the rest of the 2024 season, Hurts or Sirianni? The success of the team, who are you more concerned with, Hurts or Sirianni? All day Sirianni. Coach. Starts at the top. It's easy, Sirianni. You think it's that easy? You got a quarterback that's turning the ball over more than any quarterback in the league. There you go, Alex. Hurts' turnovers can cost you more games than Sirianni, but Sirianni's more of a cancer. Alex is completely right. Crowley, your quarterback is the biggest turnover quarterback in the last 2 years. And know this, you're going to win games. But you don't think turnovers are going to cost you in critical games? Look at the game. What is the hey? Let me give you the greatest example that I could possibly give you. In the Jalen Hurts era, what turnover was the biggest turnover in Jalen Hurts' career? What was the biggest turnover? Hurts be killing me with those critical turnovers. I don't even have to look. We're not talking about beating the Giants here. Okay, we're not. We're talking about beating Mahomes, winning an NFC title game. Those are when it gets you. What's the point of having a 13-win season if you make a critical turnover in a big game? And when you get into the postseason, hey, isn't this about everything you do in the regular season, prepping you for the moments you need to be clean and play your best ball in the postseason? The Eagles played their worst game of the year. Hey, would we not agree? The Eagles played their worst game of the year versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs, in the wild card game. Is that fair? Was that the worst game that they played? Okay. Was that the worst game that they played last year? Right? Right? Let's be real. Mahomes has 4 interceptions and so does Hurts. He has 1 more fumble. I don't hold that early snap against him. Every year, defense is ahead of the offense this time of the year. You're right. It's too many, but let's be real. Let's be real. You're talking about a 3-time Super Bowl champion that you're going to learn to live with anything he does with. And his resume speaks to him getting his team out of trouble and winning championships versus a guy who has not done that yet and leads the league in turnovers, wins games, but not the critical games. The fuck are you comparing Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes for? Patrick Mahomes is 15 picks with who? Rashid Rice? Thank you, Kimberly. He's going to have more turnovers. He has lesser talent. How in the world are you going to compare a 3-time Super Bowl MVP to the biggest turnover machine in the league right now? How in the world? Because he wins what? Wins a ton of games. Sure does. But he don't win any games. You're comparing Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes. You know, I know that there's a part of me that gets dumber sometimes in this on this show, and when I talk Allen or I talk Mahomes, I get dumber. And I pray to God it gives me 10 minutes back in my life. How in the God's name are you going to ever compare that guy? Xander, can you give me Christopher's super chat, please? Good God almighty. You know what, too? You got people in there going like this. Yeah, Sills, the refs love. No, man, they love him so much. He's won 3 Super Bowls. Can you guarantee Mahomes' success without Reed? We all know coaching is huge in this. No. It all goes together. Good coaching, great players. Duh. Team sport. Welcome to the NFL. No. Do you think that Joe Montana would be great without Bill Walsh? No. No. You think Brady would be great without Belichick? No. Jalen Hurts, you on the field, Sirianni locker room. Sills, was last Sunday's defense a good enough defense to get you to the game? The problem with what you're saying is Green Bay, good game. Atlanta, terrible game. Saints, great game. How do you feel about the first 3 weeks? Huh? All right. I mean, sometimes, you hear people, Patrick Mahomes is 3-0. They're playing like dog shit like they did a year ago with nobody on the team. They have no weapons but a tight end. Hey, by the way, this is a Jalen Hurts game. You want to compare him to – hey, before I bring Xander on, you want to compare Jalen Hurts to Patrick Mahomes? Okay. You got Dallas Goedert, right? Okay. You're going to put Paris Campbell, Jan Dotson, and Johnny Wilson? You're going to throw that out against the Bucs? Welcome to Patrick Mahomes' world. That's his world. Let's see what he does. Honestly, give him massive kudos. He wins that game with those stiffs at wideout. Johnny Wilson. Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell sounds like a stripper's name, too. I mean, Jahan Dotson, steal of the century. Without further ado, the one and only. Look at this. Rice is nice. Yeah, I like it fried, too, with an egg roll. It's great. He is the co-host of Birds 365. Hold up. I got to clean the green off my glasses for a second before I get hit with collateral damage, and I got hit with all kinds of crazy shit here. He is the one and only Big Z, Xander Kraus.
What up, Big Sil? I'm great, man. How you doing on this beautiful Wednesday here? Getting ready for week 4, man. Moving right along in the week.
Have we had any updates yet on the injury list yet of what these guys and what they're looking at so far? Because don't they release something on a Wednesday and then they put out the official injury report on Thursday? I'd like to keep that as covert.
The only thing I know as of now is that Devontae Smith, Lane Johnson, A.J. Brown, all not at practice today. So Lane Johnson was there. He was stretching, but he wasn't out there. And no Devontae, no AJ still. So no update officially. The Eagles are going to hold it as long as they can. But no update officially. I'm a little concerned about that, though, Big Sills.
So here's what you're sending down. You're sending down a nice Lehigh offense. You got Paris Campbell, Dotson, Steele.
All right, well, if you're saying that, then I don't want to hear you shitting on Jalen Hurts next week if he can't make it happen with this cast of characters. I mean, look, he's still got some players with Goddard and Saquon, but obviously any quarterback loses their top 2 wide receivers and their star right tackle in the game. It's going to be uphill battle, but I think Jalen will have a good game. I think there is a silver lining to it when you talk about him getting more receivers involved and everything. So, look, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm obviously waiting for the the update here on the injuries, because I think that's gonna be obviously the biggest part of the game here.
Somebody brought something really cool up, all kidding aside here. Would you feel better going into this game if that you made Saquon and Kenny Gainwell and Will Shipley more part of the passing game? Like
I
instead
don't
of that,
see it.
because those wide receiver guys,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it with them
I
either.
mean, it's right. It's one thing to say they're not going to be a part of the passing game when you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Without those
Correct.
guys, maybe they'll turn to it more. I think it's definitely a possibility, but we'll see what they end up doing, man. I mean, look, you're going to have to make it happen. When you lose those type of guys, that's where I would say nothing is off the table. Like, I would do anything you can to put yourself in position to win, and that's what they're going to have to do here, especially when you lose guys like this. It's not like you're losing, all due respect to Britton Covey, a bunch of Britton Coveys. You're losing really your impact players on offense. So going to be an uphill battle with this. And it's their first real adversity of the year this year, and maybe we're getting the injury bug early and we're lucky that none of these injuries are season enders yet. But you do fear that they're starting to build up early. That early bye week now looks like there's going to be
absolutely
good for that. So we'll see if they can battle through this. Hopefully nothing ends up happening. That's longer term. But right now it does seem like all these guys will be back at least this season and the next couple of weeks.
How about this? Over under 30 carries in this game.
Oof. 30 carries for all the running backs?
All the running backs. Yeah, 30 carries, including Hurts.
Okay. All right, yeah, then I'll take the over on that for sure. I don't want to see Saquon get 30 carries. I think that's just too many for him. That's why I'd like to see, Kenny Gainwell get a little bit more involved this week. I don't know about Will Shipley. We'll see how much they trust him.
I bet you Hurts carries the ball 15 times in this game.
Look, this is one of those games where I'm not going to knock him for it at all. Because, look, you're going to have to pull out all the stops to win the game. And I think it'd be a big momentum thing for this team to go into the bye week 3-1, battle some early adversity, some injuries, and you go in 3-1. You can kind of relax going into the bye. I think that would be a big thing. So if Jalen's running all over them boys this week, I'm not going to knock him for it. Just don't put yourself in harm's way, obviously, but you can't legislate that too much out of it.
Guys who have sent super chats, we always read them. Don't worry
about it.
We'll
get to them for sure at the end of the segment. I do want to real quick, though, before we even move on, I do want to welcome and thank in our new members. Joe, hi. Appreciate you, man, for becoming a member.
Thank you, brother.
And then also, I don't have it in my start, but Jason A-Team, who upgraded his membership today from the bottom one, which is fine, and then he became a JAKIB family member. So, Jason, thank you for upgrading the membership, man. That's just straight support of the channel. So thank you so much for doing that. It means a lot, brother.
Absolutely. And Christopher, we'll get to your great super chat there too. I promise. We'll get to all of them. You guys are sensational on doing that. The super chats and the likes.
I don't like to block people out. C24 is spamming Taylor Swift. He's got another account ready to rumble. The minute he put 5-minute timeout.
Such a girl.
I didn't block him. I gave him a 5-minute timeout, and C24's got another account ready to rumble.
This just shows you how weird that is. This guy's got 75 different accounts, and he stalks me. But I mean, really, man, I should feel honored. I've never had a guy, he guy like C24 stalk me more. Oh, that other loser too, LJ. It's it's great for the algorithm and all, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should feel popular here. I don't know that.
It's funny though, because they give you shit for not being able to read the chats. Meanwhile, C24 is sending 64 messages in 6 seconds, and they all say the same thing, and they're about Taylor Swift. I mean, come on, C24. If you're going to spam, give us some good content for the show, my man.
And this guy's talking like girly in there. Hey, buddy, what do you want? I mean, I was like, wow, I needed a shower after those two guys. That loser LJ and C24, I needed to take a shower. Holy cow, these guys
Master Chief says, Master Chief, I'm going to make, you know what? I'm going to do this because we're doing the Saquon jerseys. Everybody's expecting another one this week, which I do think is going to happen when you talk about no Devontae, no AJ. I think we're giving away another Saquon jersey. So Master Chief checks in Big Sills and he says, Xander, how about a Huff jersey giveaway? Do we have to give away? I don't even know if anybody wants a Bryce Huff jersey.
Did you hear Vic?
If he gets what? What's fair? Because I don't know. 2 sacks. That's too low.
That's no way. How about if he gets 2? How about if he gets 5 hits on a quarterback?
Nah, that's weak because nobody cares about that. That's not no. People
2
care about that.
sacks. 2
People want
sacks.
a fun metric to go with,
2 sacks.
to give
Hey,
away.
supposedly, according to John McMullen, this guy's the next Michael Parsons. So, I mean, hey, man, well, he said he was a great passer for one of the elite guys in the game.
Bryce Hufflepuff. I will say I went back and watched the All-22 last night. I didn't get through all of it yet, but I did watch a bunch of it. You know who was a little bit better this week than I gave him credit for? Not great.
Who?
But showed a couple signs of things that looks like he's learning how to play the position. You want to take a guess?
Let me guess. So a guy has surprised you that he showed up and did something decent.
He didn't do much. You're
okay,
gonna.
So
I'm saying though, positionally, he was a little bit.
So the 30th pick in the draft showed Xander that, hey, there's a resemblance of a football player, and that made him a little bit more optimistic about
Nolan Smith. The chat got it. Big Sills got it. Look, he looked a little. He was positionally there. He set the edge well. He got back a little bit. I think it was you, Prince, that told me to go back and watch him. I was just scanning the adult.
Prince.
I didn't really dive into it too deep yet. I like to dive in and watch certain specific players on each play, but I will say he looked a little bit better. I ripped the dude. We gave him nicknames and all sorts of stuff. Maybe he's still got those nicknames until he does something, but I thought that was a positive thing. Remember, Big Sills, this town is, I don't want to say tainted. That's not the right word, but you're talking about one of the greatest Philadelphia Eagles of all time in Brandon Graham, who was completely wrote off by this city. Now, me included. That's not knocking anybody. He was completely wrote off.
He had 17 tackles.
He turned into one of the greatest Eagles of all time.
He had 17 tackles last year. Why wouldn't you write it off?
No, but I'm saying it took Brandon Graham how many years to get going? So I think there's a level of hope that we all hold when you talk about a guy like Nolan Smith. Now he's a different size. BG might be short, but BG is stout. Like, he doesn't look like Nolan Smith, but I think there's still a level of hope that everybody's holding out that Nolan Smith can be something in this league. And hope is not a great strategy. I understand that. But you're talking to Eagle fans, man. They want their team to be great. They want everybody to work out, and that's where we are with them. So I thought the glimmer of hope was worth mentioning for Nolan Smith.
Yeah, any of you guys ever watched the movie Equalizer with Denzel? And he goes, 19 seconds. Oh, man. I'm still waiting for Nolan Smith and Bryce Huff to,
Bryce Huff's got to be.
Somebody needs to take those two guys out.
Bryce Huff is more, on the target right now of Eagles fans than Nolan Smith is.
Yeah, because he was in theory, like I said, he actually did take over for Hassan Reddick because Reddick ain't playing. He actually
Bryce Huff is concerning, man. You give him 18 snaps in a game. We're talking about 18 snaps in week 3, man. Vic Fangio is like, he's a rotational piece. So
$18 million rotation.
The problem with that whole thing is if you can't get after the quarterback, forget the week-to-week stuff. Because if you have a game like that from Jalen Carter, you can make up for it in the week and get a win. On a long-term time scale, though, when you go up against the greatest player and especially the greatest quarterbacks, if you're not getting any pressure off the edge, you're going to have a hard time, impacting the quarterback, getting him off his spot. And when you play a quarterback like a Mahomes or a Josh Allen, you got to get them off their spot. So we need more pressure from the edges, no doubt.
Okay. So I learned something about Kellen Moore today, having listened to him. So Kellen Moore does this. He's got 17 guys giving him play options, and, Jeff Stoutland and all these guys have all this. So Nick Sirianni, and he didn't want to answer it at that press conference. Nick Sirianni has final say on the plays that go in. That's what Kellen's saying.
Well, he is the head coach.
Wait a minute. I was under the belief that Kellen had the autonomy, and that's why he brought him in. What's the difference from
listen.
Wait, it's the same setup as a year ago.
You're conflating it, though. If Nick needed to overrule him, you're conflating it. If Nick needed to override him, he could. That would be like, no, I don't want to use that example because that's fucked up. But that would be like, just for the sake of the conversation, That would be like me saying, technically, I have rule over what goes on the JAKIB channel, but I'm not gonna make your content for you
because you're a good coach.
But if I told you to fuck off and something wasn't going on, you'd have to listen.
But you know why I wouldn't? Because you don't do it all the time, and you do it when you pick your moments.
I never do it, ever, because I think you're phenomenal at your job.
But the point, it's a great point, because you know why? You have never in my 4 years said anything about the content of my show ever. You know what that comes down to? You trust me to make the right call. You trust me to put the right topics. You trust me to do my job. You trust me to be prepared. You trust me to do all this. Why does fucking Nick not think Kellen's more prepared?
What I'm saying is, he said ultimately, if Nick wants to do that, he can. And I think there's no, I don't think Nick is actually saying, okay, each play, approval, disapprove, approve, disapprove. He's not doing that.
No, but he's doing
in
it
a certain moment though in the game.
4th down, 2-minute drill.
Yes.
He's doing it I'm not talking about 1st and 10. He's not doing it then. You know when he's doing it to make his statement and his place on the roster when it comes to coaching decisions? He's making it in game decision moments. And he's been wrong in 3 games, and he's almost cost them 2 games.
I can't deny that. No doubt about that.
So it's almost like, wait a minute. Why don't you let Kellen get his feet wet, and then you come in after and you make these critical adjustments? Do you have to have your adjustments in game? Why can't you get to your coaching staff early in the week and go, Kellen, you know that play that you had with that interception with Devontae in the back of the end zone? Tell me what you're thinking. Don't do that shit in game, because let the coach do his fucking job. Xander, coaching, the greatest coaches on the planet. Jimmy Johnson never coached anybody on Sunday. He coached them Monday through Friday. He let you know what he thought was not good, what he was good. And then he let his coaches all coach on the weekend and on the game. Then he corrected these guys. This guy's jumping in middle of the game, and he's making these critical decisions in critical moments. How about this, man? Like I said, that guy's going to cost you a game. He has already cost you one. He's going to cost you another one. He's going to.
This is what I said yesterday. Are we going to be able to take? Are we going to be able to reach our full potential with Nick as head coach? That's yet to be determined. You know, many people look, he did take us to the Super Bowl. Nobody wants to forget that. And I understand that. I mean, he was the head coach of the football team when we went to the Super Bowl. So, you know, were his decisions making bad in that season? No, they weren't. You know, he actually he called a good Super Bowl. You know, he made the right decision.
He did, or you mean Steichen did?
Well, Steichen called the plays. Nick still managed the game.
That's his offense. They don't run that offense anymore. Remember that. That's Shane Steichen's offense.
Yeah, but what's the point? Then what's the point? What's the point?
The point is that this guy is parachuting in the middle of a game, influencing critical moments in the game. And when you're down where the game is on the line, he's calling plays at those moments and no other time in the game. And these decisions have been wrong. A 60-yard field goal, going for one more down versus kicking it. I mean, the guy's a moron. I mean, you get dumber listening to him even explain himself. And then you hear Kellen go, yeah, it's collaborative. So wait a minute here. Who is really the OC? Is it you, Kellen? Or are you Brian Johnson 2.0, where guess what? You're just more experienced than Brian. And the same setup. It's like, hey, this is our offense, which is my offense, and you're just running it. Doesn't it seem the same? He said it today or yesterday.
Yeah, I guess it does. I mean, I guess in a way you're right. It does. But I mean, you know, what are you going to do? I can control what I can control. We can hope that Nick makes the right decisions. And look, this isn't, you're blaming. Who you blaming?
The right decisions.
Yeah. Okay. So then don't blame Nick, because Nick didn't create this setup. The front office did by what they did by retaining him and forcing him to give up everything. So we can blame Nick for not being the right guy. If he's not the right guy, then it's not on Nick. It's on the guys who put him in that position to make those calls. So the front office should be blamed. They are the ones who created this atrocious setup of coaches that nobody knows who has the final say. Nobody knows who's doing what. And then Nick keeps opening up the can of worms by saying, oh, I'll call the play here and there. Or, you know, so it's a bad setup right now. And it's already coming to fruition that it doesn't look good. from a coaching standpoint and how it's all worked out. But we're Eagles fans, and we got to be optimistic that they're not going to get in the way of the amount of talent that's on this roster, because we have a lot of talent, man. We have a lot of players on this football team that can get us to a lot of wins. So hopefully the coaches don't get in the way, and we can, be as good as we want to be. It's
all right.
a tall task, I guess, but.
Okay, Mr. Sunshine and Mr. Optimistic, are you more concerned going forward with Nick or with Hurts?
I got to say Nick on that. I just don't right now. I don't. Nick doesn't have my trust right now. So Jalen has to fix the turnovers, but he shows flashes of the things that make him great. He showed a bunch of it this year with the running game and with the, even last game, I thought he passed the ball really well. He's had some big throws down the field, including the one to A.J. Brown in week 1. So he showed some things where I think, once he gets back into the rhythm of the season, he can be great. Do you
think his decision-making has regressed?
I mean, if you look at strictly at the RPO, 22, it seemed like he could do no wrong, right, with the RPO. Every time he made a decision in the RPO, it seemed to be the right one, and he constantly broke the back of defenses, making the right call there. Every time he calls an RPO now or a read option, it doesn't work. He picks the wrong one. So I guess from that perspective, but he's progressing in other areas that don't rely as much on the RPO. They clearly don't run the same offense they do now as they did before. So, it's a different offense for Jalen, but I don't think I could say his decision making is regressed like I think Nick's has.
Okay. How about this one? Are you sold that the defense has now been fixed?
I don't think anything can be fixed in a week. I mean, I think they showed the potential of what they can be, and they have to continue to play up to that standard to reach that potential. And that what I think it did show you, Sills, is it showed you how good they can be. And it showed you that when players do play, when Jalen Carter does show up, when Jordan Davis, does make an impact, when I don't want to say Bryce Huff, when Quinyon Mitchell, is at his best, when even Darius Slay is at his best, Zach Bond and Kobe Dean, who I thought were, better than, I thought Bond was above average. I thought Dean was average. I think it shows you how good this defense can be. Because that's one of the things we talked about all summer, where I'm like, the potential is there. And you're like, well, potential is just potential if they don't reach it. Well, in week 2, you saw what it looked like if they don't play up to that potential. In week 3, you saw what it looks like if they all play up to it, except Hoff, who I thought.
I hate those swings, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, look, that needs to be fixed. You can't be that
up and down.
Up and down. You can't have lows like that. So ultimately, they got to fix that, but it's still early. It's not like we're at week 12 and we've had 4 weeks of good, 4 weeks of bad, and 4 weeks of mediocre. Right now, we're just going off 1 week of each. So, we got to see how they continue to progress. But I will say, it looks like they have talent on that defensive side. Maybe we're lacking at the edge rusher position, but that defensive tackles, when they show up, they're good. Those cornerbacks, when they show up, they're damn good. I love
better with Graham at the edge.
Way better. And I think you saw it last week. That's why they went to him. And he's still making an impact, man. It's unbelievable the type of impact he's having right now.
He's having an impact on Sweat on the other side, even.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's one of my favorite Eagles of all time, obviously, as many people would say the same. Great dude, and he's really playing at a high level. He's 36, dude. Not many 36-year-old edge rushers, by the way, who blew out an Achilles at 32, come back and play this good at 36. It's pretty impressive what he's doing.
Absolutely. All right, man. I mean, at the end of the day here, you go into this football game here and you're going to be banged up. And Xander, I got to say this. I went back and watched that game a little bit more last night. What a dirty football game that Saints game was, man. I mean, I watched that I watched that that Slay play by Penning. Dude, I would have blew his fucking knee out if I had him in front of me the next play, because he was trying to hurt him.
I will say, I was a little disappointed that there was no, both on the Penning play, you would think if somebody would have gotten
even the Devontae play.
Even the Devontae play, that's where I was going next. You would think somebody, I mean, at that point, I wouldn't have even cared if they got a personal foul.
Yeah.
Personal foul to stand up.
Now I know why Carter wasn't pissed off because of what they were saying about him.
Exactly.
He was pissed off at the antics.
Exactly. And that's why I said I'm not mad at Carter at all for showing that type of emotion at the end of the game. So, he had a big day. He played well. They got the win, and the team was a little bit dirty, I'd say, in some regards. So look, it's football, right? It's going to happen. So you can cry about it,
And
or
they're
you can
known
do
for
something.
that.
Exactly. So can't cry about it. You gotta, handle it. And I thought Carter really had the best day, but I was a little disappointed that nobody stood up to Penning, and the dude who hit Devontae. I thought that was a little BS. It's like even when you're young and you're in football, you're playing sports when you're young.
Yeah.
Somebody gets hit, everybody else runs up and decks them. It's how it should be. So nobody did that. I was a little disappointed.
I would have been illegal.
Jordan
If
Mailata.
I saw that, I would have been illegal.
Now Lane wasn't out there. I'm sure Lane would have stuck up for Devontae.
I
was
would have,
surprised, like Jordan Mailata or Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson went to school with Devontae. You didn't walk up to them and say, "Yo, dude."
Yeah, I would have been illegal because that's what, the game's tough enough as it is.
Yeah,
you don't need that kind of you don't need that kind of bullshit when you're going in there. Do you think they go back to running a lot of RPO in this game?
No.
You don't think so? You think okay? Well, then here
because
of
the guys they're missing.
What's that?
You're talking about because the guys they're missing?
Yeah, because of the guys that are missing. You got to adjust, Xander. You can't just go in there with the same game plan.
I know. I especially remember you're going up against Todd Bowles. You want to pull out the RPO versus Todd Bowles?
What else do you have? Paris Campbell?
I mean, a pro-style offense where Jalen can still get at. Jalen's still going to escape the pocket no matter what he's in. And he's still going to make great opportunities to run. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think you have to do that from the RPO.
Right. Okay, because again, you can't throw the same game plan you had the Packers and do it against the Buccaneers because you don't have the personnel. How about this one here? Who covers Mike Evans in the slot?
Is he playing slot right now?
Well, they drop him in the slot a ton.
I guess it's going to be Cooper DeJean or Avonte Maddox, I guess. Is it Maddox? Maddox is healthy, right? Yeah, well, what do you want me to say, Sil? That's who we got.
No.
You want me to not ride with you? You want me to pull magic out of my hat and put an all-pro at the
Holy
slot?
cow. I'm trying to show you mismatches out there.
I see them. I see the mismatches. There was mismatches last week, too.
Where do you have a mismatch on offense going against the Bucs? Barkley?
No, they got a good secondary. I mean, they got a good secondary.
They got an all-pro safety back there, too.
You know where we have a mismatch? I think we have a mismatch in the pass rush this week. Not that our guys are great, but their tackles, their one tackle, doesn't he suck?
Tristan Wirfs is the best.
Wirfs is amazing. The other,
but I think the two guys inside will have a massive advantage.
Let me see. I did a little. I started to do a little breakdown on this game.
I don't really think that their two guards are all that hot. Okay, I don't really think, and I got a rookie in there too. I think the kid from Duke's in there. That Barton kid.
Their run defense, I think, is weak right now. Right? Didn't you call it? You put a stat check today. Yeah. And I think they're right. Who's their right tackle? I know. Tristan Wirfs. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Bucks right tackle.
Ian Beckel said it yesterday. He's just not good.
Yeah. Is it Godecki?
It's like that. Yeah, he's just a guy in there right now.
Yeah, Luke Godecki. So
they're going to be in 11 personnel though a lot.
I mean, they have a good secondary. They've got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who are two players who can.
Is Vita playing?
He should be playing. Is he hurt? I'm going to post that Ian Beckel's interview out. Did he update on Vita Vea at all yesterday?
He just said he's a fat guy and he plays sometimes when he feels like it. I mean, yeah, he's never been high on Vita Vea, but when Vita Vea's like when he was in that game, the playoff game, he was a force.
He's a force, yeah.
Okay, but he plays sometimes like when he lays off the when he lays off the White Castle. So I don't know if he's questionable. Okay, well that's a good thing there for Cam because
I think he's got an MCL sprain of some sorts or something.
Yeah,
so.
You know what, Xander, I think the Eagles are a better team with the Green Bay roster? Of course. Do I think they're going to be a better team versus the Bucs heading into the Sunday game? I got to see what they're going to roll out there first, man. I mean, is Slay playing?
I think Slay should be good. I haven't heard any update on him, but I think Slay's going to be all right. I think we escaped with him, so I think he'll be
You
out
see
there.
more Isaiah Rodgers this week?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they're not going to him, right? I mean, even Vic Fangio talked about it a little bit yesterday at the press conference. He said he was ready to go. They're just not going to him. So I'm not sure what the deal is with him. I think he's just too undersized. I don't think they want to play a guy that's not physical like that. So I'm not sure what the holdup is with Isaiah Rodgers. It's like another Devin White situation where nobody knows. I mean, John told me that Devin White wasn't going to play in the offseason. I didn't want to believe him because, he was a starter all through training camp. He's like, he's just not good. And it appears John was right about that. So, he's kind of saying that they're not going down the Isaiah Rodgers well right now. So they'd rather get Keely Ringo out there, it seems. And I don't know. Everybody's high on Isaiah Rodgers, but we haven't really seen anything in games for us to be high. We're just kind of hoping or expecting him to be good because of what we heard about in camp. But other than that, I'm not sure what they're going to do if Slay is out. My guess would be Keely Ringo like they did in the game last week. Or maybe Isaiah did have a broken hand, so maybe he's still nursing that back a little bit, and they got to see about that. But I'm not sure what they're going to do if Slay's out. I think Slay will be in, though.
I'll tell you a guy that I've been impressed with, but he's not with big numbers, and he's kind of been played all over the field. And even Vic has brought his name up. Milton Williams has done a nice job. They put him out there on the edge, and he held up out there on the edge. So they get this. Guess who's in the rotation at the edge? You got Milton Williams and Brandon Graham, and then you put in that lunchbox guy, Bryce Huff, and you put his ass in there. And the two guys that are outperforming him are Milton Williams and Brandon Graham, and then you got Rice Puff and stuff sitting there behind him. And how embarrassing is that if you're the front office knowing that you gave, once again, less personnel at a needed position that had to be addressed, and you didn't, and you addressed it with the wrong reach. You reached on this guy. This guy wasn't a three. Why didn't you sign a 3-down guy? Why did you sign a project guy?
I don't know.
Or a projection guy?
You know who else has had a pretty shitty start to the season, though? On another football team? I believe Brian Burns, although he had a sack last game and a forced fumble, so maybe not. His first, I guess he bounced back. The first 2 weeks, he was nowhere as well, with no sacks, no tackles.
25 million, too.
Yeah. So he's now on the board a little bit. He got a sack in the last game, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many other 3-down options were there out there that we could have
I mean, you're limited. You don't have depth,
which is why, you could have argued to bring back Hassan. Now, he wasn't a 3-down guy either, but he did a little bit better at setting the edge than Bryce Huff has shown he can do. It's funny because Bryce Huff had one play. I think it was actually the first play of the game where like he set the edge pretty well, and he was jacked up about it. You could see him pumping his fist because he forced Kamara to go inside, and he, picked up 0 or half a yard or something. And then after that, he just got exposed right away. So, and then he only played 18 or 16 snaps after that. So he didn't have much of a workload, but hey, I don't know, man. Look, we still got problems on the defense, but I think they showed a lot what they can be after last week. And if everybody continues to get better each week and show up like that, they're going to be a good defense. I'll tell you what, 2025, the defense is going to be really good. We just got to figure out the edge rusher now. It seems to be that's now the biggest hole. I'm not going to call it a hole because I'm still going with the no holes defense, baby. But the biggest hole right now is that edge rusher position.
Here's where your general manager is kind of. Do I even give Elf Roseman any love here whatsoever on this? I mean, so he reaches and he projects on Bryce Huff, and yet he reaches and projects on Zach Bond. And it's two different dudes having two different results. Xander, so at the end of the day,
I don't know if it was Howie that got Bond.
So you think that is a Vic guy?
I think he might have been a Vic guy. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I don't actually have insight onto the inner workings of who chose who, but to me, if you view it from, who
signed Huff? Vic?
Huff is a Howie. Huff is a Howie big time. That's it. Look, ever since Vic Fangio spoke his first time in Philadelphia,
he likes short guys.
Well, he doesn't. He never spoke highly of Huff. He never really gave him his credit. So I don't know. That's just my speculation.
Let's do all the super chats now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Got a bunch of them here. You guys are great. Thank you guys so much.
start with this one. Big one comes in from Sua. Sua, appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man. We have to run it down their throats. Minimum 35 rushes. Saquon, Kenny, Shipley need to be ready. No RPOs. These linemen need to get downhill fast. No pussyfooting waiting to see if it's a run. Okay, fair enough.
Good take.
Like it there. Very good.
Another
very good. Unlike Princess or some of these other
but their run defense is suspect. Sua has a point. If there's any game for old school football on offense, it's this week. Run the ball with your running backs and freaking pound it.
Absolutely.
Says Patrick Queen was available too. So
they're not paying $18 million for a linebacker. That ain't happening. Pittsburgh signed. Hey, by the way, think about this one, Jameson. Pittsburgh has the best defense in the National Football League. And let me think. Who'd they sign? Patrick Queen on a 3-year deal. Gee, go figure.
Yo, big shout out to Fat Mac Philly for becoming a member on the channel. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for your support of the channel.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, gotta love it, man. People being members is major support, so thank you guys. Petrosky checks in.
Godwin is going to make barbecue chicken out of Maddox. Hey, wait a minute. Let me see. It's September 25th, and it's 4:08 right now on the East Coast. Maddox isn't hurt yet, so that's a good sign.
That's true. Next
one.
All
right, let's get to another one here. Imagine if we had an edge rusher, how good it would be. Yeah, no question. No question. Imagine if – get this. Stu, if you had signed this, if you did Justin Simmons on a 1-year contract and you signed Patrick Queen, who's 25 years old, and you signed Brian Burns. Or how about this? Chase Young. You want to go cheaper. Chase Young. How good would your defense be right now with Brandon Graham, Chase Young, Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis? How good do you think that front four would be? You feel good about that front four? Or how about HR Puff and stuff being your edge rusher right now? Seriously, man. You know what Huff looks like? That rice you throw at a wedding. He's all over the place. This guy sucks, man. Here we go. Let's go somewhere else here. Xander's. Don't McMullen Nick.
Don't McMullen Nick. It's obvious. There's Josh. I think you're being a little, I don't know, Josh. I mean, it's obviously a shitty setup, but who are you going to blame for that, Josh?
So wait a minute, though. So you tolerate that? You're told not to ask questions by the head coach about the setup?
Nobody asks more questions in this network. Are you kidding me? I feed comments all day. I read comments all day about we're hater this and hater that and hater about every. We ask nobody asks more questions than us.
I have to bring one thing up too, because this is truth, justice, in the Big Sills way. Hey, make sure someone gets this to Seth Joyner. Hey, Seth. One day you're telling me Hurts can't read a defense. Other days you're telling me it's because this guy here, why is he getting so much shit for not having all the stars on the field? Which is it, guy? This guy sounds like Kamala Harris.
He's hard on everybody except the quarterback. It's
absolutely. And you know what? I'm trying to figure it out here. This guy sounds like Kamala Harris. He's over here one day and over here another day. Takes back that take. I will never, ever ban frack, and I want to frack as soon as I get in the fucking White House. And that's what Seth Joyner is. I mean, make sure you get that to him, too, because this guy flip-flops more than Flipper. Go ahead.
Anybody else we got? Who we got? Who else we got?
Not Jalen's fault.
Brian Pumper checked in.
Hurts fangirls, not even real people. Grown men who would scuff their knees for his turnover machine. Sills, these clowns make me throw up. I know, even Xander too, though. No, you hear Xander what he said? I think he'll have a really good game against the Bucs.
I'm the only one. I've been fair on Jalen Hurts all year. You think
he's going to have a great game against the Bucs?
Bullshit. I've been fair on Jalen Hurts all year. When I thought he needed to step up, I called him out for it. When I thought he did step up, I gave him the credit. He's got to do it more consistently, and he needs to do it when the lights are the brightest. Right now, it's technically practice for the big moments of the year. So Jalen's gonna have to step up, and I'm gonna call it like I see it every single week. I'm not gonna cater to either side of Hurts hate or Hurts love. He's got to be great. That's what we need in Philly. Everybody should want that.
You're not Kamala Joyner. You're not. I get it. It's all good. I mean, you've been You've been critical when need be here. Guys, your super chats have been absolutely sensational. By the way, at the bottom of the hour, the walk of shame with Mark Holmes and with Philly 500 will be at the bottom of the hour. Your logic is Hurts had people. He does have people. He literally lost his receivers this weekend, pulled it through. You make no sense sometimes. I love to hate you, Christopher. He did do that, though. And you know what? It was the first big game that I will concede that he didn't have a lot of his pieces in. And even in the turnovers that he still has, the difference between him and Trevor Lawrence, he finds a way to win. Trevor Lawrence finds ways to lose. And he does win these games. And he makes a play. I'll tell you one thing that I will give him great credit for. He is a really smart guy. He finds a way and sees the game. I just wish they would let him call his own game and let him take control of his own game sometimes instead of getting in his way. I think the coaching in this, Xander, I'm going to say it. I think the coaching with the Eagles gets in his way.
Of Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I think it gets in his way, man.
Yeah, I mean, definitely potentially. He's had a lot of coordinators and everything, but that's their setup. I mean, Jalen's, in a way, he backed Nick. There's been moments where it's been questionable, but he's backed Nick for the most part. And, I do wonder, when we talk about what we talked about earlier, like Patrick Mahomes has Andy Reid. I'm not taking away from either of those guys. And I'm not taking away from Mahomes' greatness as a quarterback or Reid's greatness as a coach, but the combination of those two things is always what works out the best. Look at Brady and Belichick. I think you can say the same for those two, where both, are on opposite sides, but both, come to the table with something. I do wonder if we had the right head coach, and maybe Nick is that. I don't think so, but if we had a different head coach for Jalen, what would his ceiling be with the different coach, with a coach like Andy Reid?
Now, you bring a great point up here, because is Nick being told to have more reins on him? Because they have more.
I don't want to say that. I just don't know if Nick is capable of coaching somebody to the ability. Like Andy Reid is going to get
a great job with Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, but he wasn't the main guy in that room.
No,
wasn't he the quarter? He was a wide receivers coach or something.
He was a coordinator in that.
Coordinator there. So.
But the head coach was Rick. Was Frank Wright. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean. You're going to get that dynamic there. Okay?
I mean, look, I think even being a coordinator to a head coach is a different feel. I mean, Andy Reid's not a coordinator, for crying out loud. He's a friggin' head coach. And when a quarterback, you could argue that Andy Reid got Patrick Mahomes maybe never would have turned into Patrick Mahomes without Andy Reid. Now, I'm not saying he's not talented, but talent doesn't always equal success in the NFL. They were the perfect combination. I don't really think Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are the perfect combination. It's shown by how much changes they've had, and they're changing who calls the plays and everything. You think we get out of a year, Kansas City loses an offensive coordinator. There's no change for them. But they have their setup down pat.
But let me ask you something else on this. Okay, so wait a minute here. Let me take it and let me use an example of Baker Mayfield that you're going to see this weekend. You talk about coaching being important. Well, Kevin Stefanski is a 2-time NFL Coach of the Year, and he could succeed with him. He goes to Carolina, flops. No, that's not a shocker. Then he goes out to Sean McVay, gets some pretty good coaching. Then he goes down to a stable organization with the Buccaneers and Todd Bowles. Don't you think it's also about repetition, not giving up, and allowing the player to at least get his foot wet in the NFL to where you get enough reps before you can make an assessment on whether or not? Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's prospering now because do you think it was because of maybe the failures in New York, some of the failures in San Francisco, and all of a sudden he goes up to Minnesota and you got a guy coaching the bad out of him.
He also had a year to spend with Kyle Shanahan, who's been great with every quarterback he's been with. I'll ask you this. Would Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes if Nick Sirianni was his coach?
To a limit and to a level, but not to the exceptional level he's at now. Like instead of winning,
talent is there. He's got the talent. You can't take the talent out of him. But
would he win Super Bowls?
I'll ask everybody in the chat. I'd love everybody to check in on that. If
Nick
Patrick
Sirianni
Mahomes,
was it's a great question. If Nick Sirianni was Patrick Mahomes' coach, would Patrick Mahomes win a Super Bowl?
and no, not with the Eagles roster, with the Kansas City roster.
With the KC roster.
Yeah, not with the Eagles roster. I'm talking about Kansas City. If Nick was there in Kansas City, would they have ever amounted to, if everything else was equal in what they've had for the last couple of years, except Nick was the head coach, would they have near the, I would argue they wouldn't have.
I've seen too many head coaches take over for things and it just not be the same. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say a resounding hell no with my man Josh and Anthony. No way.
I don't think so, because I think you get married to these quarterbacks, these coaches, and I think there's a marriage.
Well,
like
like
you know what I mean? I mean, look at
some
Brady.
Of those marriages are perfect. Some of them are not so perfect.
Look at Josh McDaniel, Belichick, and Brady. That thrived for 20 years. I mean, those guys.
Fly Eagles. That's where I got it from. That's where I got it from. Thank you, Fly, for putting that in there, brother. Appreciate it.
Okay, I mean, but Xander, that's how you get married up, and it's a perfect marriage, but it may not be a perfect relate. Get this: sometimes the perfect marriage you have doesn't pan out to be the perfect relationship.
Well, remember back a couple of years ago, everybody wanted to say the Kansas City offense was because of Eric Bieniemy. Just like they said it was, Tyreek Hill and all those dudes leave, and it's still the same. The only two guys who are still there are Mahomes and Andy. I guess Travis Kelce too, but coach matters especially when you're talking about quarterbacks. Especially when you're talking about quarterbacks. It's one thing to say, would AJ Brown be better with a better coach? And when you're talking about a quarterback, having the right coach with him means a lot. And I do think even if criticism of Jalen Hurts is fair, I do think that's going to have to be an underlying factor, especially as we see how this thing continues to unfold, where it's like, how much is he being hindered or forget being hindered, not being pushed along or pushed further in his career because of his coach?
It's just
I think that's going to be that's a fair question. And the more Nick Sirianni, messes up, I think those questions become even more prominent. Let's go to a couple more super chats here.
Are they now reporting Smitty out 3-6?
Uh-oh. Let me look.
I don't think the Eagles would put that out. 3-6. No way. You don't have
right now.
to.
I don't see anything, but I might not have it yet. Where are we seeing that? Who put that in there?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't buy that yet. There's no way 3-6. I'm with you, Josh. They'd never put that.
Kimberly put in a super chat. Yeah, Kimberly was having issues with the super chat. Kimberly, if I could help you, I would. It's not. I can't control it though. It's on YouTube, so sorry about that. She says, "How long do you think Lane is out if Smitty is 3-6?" So I don't know that Smitty is 3-6.
Let's wait. I don't think they're going to put 3-6 out there. I mean, not on a Wednesday. Concussion. Now, again, Kimberly, if that comes out to be a grade 1 concussion and you're vomiting on the sidelines like that, you're talking about a good substantial time here with that. That's at least 2 to 3, maybe another one, just to be safe, because that's a pretty big concussion when you're talking about not being able to hear noise, and also, too, when you have light. So let's wait and see there. I don't think that they would put that news out.
Yeah, we'll see what he says. Christopher checks in. Christopher, thanks for all your super chats today, man.
Holy shit. It's like a light just went off in your head, Sills. Jalen is good. His coach is terrible. We know Jalen had talent. What do you mean? What are you talking about? I never thought Jalen Hurts was that great of a passing player. I think he's a great dual threat guy. You guys are getting away from what I love about the kid. You want him not to be the 22 guy. I do. Him being a passer, I'm sorry, man. That don't you?
Uh-oh. The big cells just freeze for everybody else, too. Let me know in the chat if Big Cells is frozen, because he's frozen right now for me. I can't tell if it's my internet or his. Yeah, Big Cells is frozen. All right, looks like it's the National Football Show with Xander Kraus, everybody. Forget Big Sills. for a little bit. I'm going to go to Jameson. I'll get your super chat back up when Sills gets back in here. I don't know what happened. He is out. Big Sills is out. Christopher, thanks for the super chat. Jameson checked in and said, Sills, thoughts on Doug Peterson on the hot seat. Jameson, I'll make sure I bring it back up with Sills because I know you're sending it to him, not to me. But he's definitely on the hot seat, man. I think he's got to get away from Press Taylor. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. But Trevor Lawrence looks brutal, and they made the playoffs a couple years ago. Here he is.
Don't you understand? Don't you get it? Holy cow. It's Howie trying to silence Big Sills.
Look at Joseph. The show just got good.
Great. Of course it did, because then you could throw your bullshit love fest out there.
Do me a favor, Sills. Read Jameson super chat. He put this in there for you.
Sills, thoughts on Doug Peterson on the hot seat. I think it's atrocious that he's put himself in this position here with Trevor Lawrence, and he has to go and he has to coach. He was hired to fix him, and if he can't fix him, Doug will be replaced. And by the way, I think he could be this week coaching for his job. I mean, if they go 0-4, Shay Khan is not going to keep that guy. There's no
he's
way.
In trouble.
And plus, get this, they got Houston. They got to go on the road and play Houston. If they lose that game, they'll fire Doug Peterson Monday. Okay?
Oof.
Probably, too.
Right.
If Mike McCoy is still on that staff, he was the former head coach of the Chargers. I wouldn't be shocked come Monday. Mike McCoy is the interim head football coach. So, yeah.
It's a fair question. Right here.
We love Doug, but is it coincidence that this is his second quarterback, Wentz and Lawrence, that has regressed? I don't really think Trevor Lawrence has.
Right. He was never at the pinnacle like Wentz.
Yeah, like Wentz was. Wentz finished second in the MVP voting. My question would also be here, man. I mean, how did Trevor Lawrence get $55 million?
Yeah.
I mean,
no idea.
He just doesn't show anything exceptional.
Because it's Jacksonville. That's why. They don't know what a good quarterback even looks like. So they saw Trevor Lawrence and got the number one pick, and he's tall. And like you and Ian Beckles talk about, he looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans. I love it. By the way, I've said on the shows before, I'm not a movie guy. That is a movie that if it's on, I'm watching. I love Remember the Titans. That's a great movie. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence looks like Sunshine, and now he's robbing these people blind, man.
Absolutely, man. Jesse James used a gun when he robbed banks. All right, Xander, I got to take a time out before I get the walk of shame in here with Mark Combs and Philly 500. I can't wait to hear this. Where are we right now? Where are we right now in the likes list?
Let me find it.
195.
Pretty good for everybody. Thanks for all the support today.
Absolutely. Guys, keep hitting it here. You can't wait to see Mark Combs walk of shame here, man.
Well, I think the team looked pretty shitty last week. I mean, I think they bounced back pretty well. I try and be realistic. I try and be realistic about the Cowboys because, it's easy to hate them. It's easy to say, oh, F the Cowboys. I get it. But they are basically always our number one at stopping us from winning the NFC East, which could change our home field advantage in the playoffs. And I do think there's real implications. So I try and always be objective about the Cowboys. They do not look as good as I thought they would look right now. They had a lot of garbage yards in that game. I thought it was promising that they made the comeback that they did in the fourth quarter. But they were getting just destroyed in that game up until the fourth quarter. I mean, it was 28-6 going into the fourth quarter. They made a strong push at the end, but Dallas doesn't look too good right now, and they got major issues right now. Micah Parsons is, crying on the bed, crying on the, and a bunch of stuff. So let me get Jay's super chat. We did miss that one. Jay, sorry about that, brother.
Dan, you have the popcorn for Mark Holmes today. Dak Holmes, you mean? I like that one. Somebody put up Dak Holmes. Jalen would love Doug.
I would love Doug. Yo, go watch Jalen rookie year versus the Cardinals. That was one of my favorite Jalen games, and that was very early in his career. So I got to get out of here, though. Holmes is checking in. It's time to get to a break.
He's checking in here. The walk of shame is coming for this dude, man. Could the Dolphins get Russell Wilson? Yes, they could, because I tell you what are you going to do? But here, know this, they're only averaging 17 points on offense. Are you thrilled to death with Justin Fields? I mean, He's 3-0, averaging 17 points.
Right. So everybody's falling for that trap. I don't know. Mike Tomlin's a smart dude. I think he'll make the right decision, whatever it ends
So
up
do
being.
I take a timeout or do I'm gonna take a timeout before, because what I want Mark Holmes to do.
Yeah, let's reset it, because you haven't. I don't think you've breaking.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I should feel a little.
Anybody that wants to question Big Sills' talent, though, I mean, I challenge you to start a show on YouTube. Doesn't matter if you're talking to anybody, and talk for 2.5 hours without taking a break, without doing nothing. It's pretty impressive, man. Big Sills.
Well, because I was born to talk shit. I went to Miami.
That's why we're late every day. Everybody's like, Big Sills is late. I'm like, he's not late. He's just shit talking with me for 8 minutes.
It's just Big Sills time. So wait a minute. I got to figure out how
I'm out of here. Thanks, everybody. See you, everybody.
Gotcha, man. We'll catch you tomorrow on Birds 365. So
love everybody in the chat. JAKIB Nation.
I'm going to set this up because I got to do something here before we bring in Dak Holmes. And I want to make sure. Now, guys, I don't know if you're going to be kind to him, like to him. You know, they do have the Gigantes on Thursday night. So let me take a time out here. Billy 500 is also going to join us. And I got to give Mark Holmes credit. You know, most people would just not show up. Okay? They wouldn't. They would say, nah, you know, I'm not going to do any of that. Or they could be Sirianni and go, I don't want to answer those questions about my incompetent decision-making when it comes to fourth down. But I'm going to give him a second here. I want him to get all sauced up and juiced up and ready to roll, because Eagle fans are ready for you here. All right? Hit the like button. Billy 500 is coming around the corner. Also, keep it here, National Football Show.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Red Sills. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. By the way, Clint Hurt texts me and he goes, "What'd you think of my boys? Let's see if they could do it again." You want to hear a goof? I'm not going to tell you from the Eagles who said this to me. Guess who has more tackles than Bryce Huff? Are you ready? Jalen Hurts. Did you hear me? Jalen Hurts has more tackles than Bryce, than this kid Huff. He actually really does. All right. Without further ado, I don't know how to introduce. First off, let's don't bring them both up. Bring up Philly 500 first. And there he is. Okay.
I'm chilling.
Wait a minute. Now, Philly, how should we bring the walk of shame in here with Dak?
You have music? You have like funeral music?
I was thinking more porn music.
Shit. Dude,
Hold on.
The only porn that dude's having is food porn because he's been eating for 4 or 5 days. I'm not even kidding.
What do you mean?
should
He's
see this
binging?
guy. And during the
binging
stream, he literally binged the whole stream, Phils. The dude wouldn't stop eating. He was so depressed.
Hold on.
But I don't know what he's depressed about. I mean,
Mark Holmes.
we tried to tell him. I tried to tell him. He ain't laughing this week, is he, Phils? He's
Hold
not
on, let's bring
laughing
up-
this week.
I give him
Bring
credit
his
for
ass.
being here. Mark Holmes joins us now. And hey, Mark, are you Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you
I'm
doing,
here.
brother? How you doing? Everything all right? How you doing, man?
I have been dreading this since Monday night. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Hey.
feel like this is Game of Thrones and I'm Cersei, who's having to do the walk of shame where they literally got me butt naked walking down between the masses. And there's not shit that I can say.
Philly?
Not laughing now, are you? Not this week. You were laughing and happy last week, huh? What I want to know is what's more depressing for him? Because I think he's more depressed that the Eagles beat his team than his team losing. He was happy last week after a loss, wasn't he? He came on here all happy last week after a loss. Ain't laughing this week.
Hey, Mark, not to pile drive on this thing here, but Lazy Smith, man.
Whew. Well, you know, if
Hey,
it was
I wanna give you
only
kudos.
Mozzie Smith, you know what? Here's the problem: is for Cowboys that we are the circular firing squad that everybody's pointing at everybody else. What I'd really actually like to see is everybody just shut the fuck up and just play.
Yeah.
Micah missing in action. I don't want to see any podcast. I don't want you starting shit with Eagles corner saying you don't know who the hell they are. And I just know we are. I have to say this. We are rock bottom right now, staring down the barrel of a 12 gauge shotgun with a do or die against the New York Giants. That literally
Has Dak ever lost to the Giants?
Dak has 2 times his rookie year. It's the only time in 2016. Ever since then, he has owned them and Cop Pizzle.
Not anymore. Not tomorrow.
Wait a minute. So let's do this. How do you feel about your win against the Saints, Philly?
I loved it. I mean, I thought it was a great team win, right? I took a lot of heat when I came on here during all season. I said the Eagles secondary is going to be better than the Cowboys secondary. They're already better. They're already better. Already better than the Cowboys secondary. I mean, Cowboys allowed 44 points. That was the team that you couldn't stop. Look, man, our defense played really good. The biggest concern I have going forward is my head coach is a friggin' moron. And I cannot tell you how bad. If I was a defensive player, all I could think about is remember when Buddy Ryan hit his offensive coordinator and punched him?
Yes.
That keeps going through my mind, watching that defense go out there with the effort they were. And he wouldn't take points, Sills. He wouldn't take points. You know, it was brutal.
Okay, Mark. So the Cowboys are driving you to drink. Is this the lowest you've been in a couple years with the Cowboys?
Well, I will say,
at least in the regular season.
We're whale shit low right now. We are whale shit low. You know where whale shit low is?
No.
Whale shit is at the bottom of the ocean. That's how fucking low we are right now. Whale shit low. We have literally Jerry Jones, who here's the sad part about it is Jerry Jones. There's actually a fire Jerry Jones whole thing going on Twitter. Check it out. Okay, not that it matters because he's not going to fire himself. He's not going to sell.
Fire the owner.
Why would you sell something that is worth $500 million more this year than last year? And you did nothing to get better. So yes, this is low.
That's total Cowboy stuff there because firing the owner because the owner likes playing with his toy. It's like completely wasted energy. I mean, I understand Eagle fans when they're talking about this buffoon of a head coach they have, who I think is going to absolutely cost them a critical. Get this. So you know what they got the setup in Philly still? In Philly, you know, when you hear Kellen Moore say this, yeah, you know, we got a collaborative like agreement here that we call plays and shit. I'm going like, well, what's the difference between you and Brian Johnson last year?
No, that's bad, Sills. That I saw that it went from Kellen Moore calls all the plays to it's a collaborative effort to now Sirianni saying I call the plays here and there, and you knew when he was calling
idiot
the plays
versus idiot calling
because
plays.
you listen for 3 weeks I've been getting crap because I'm like it looks like Nick Sirianni's calling the plays because it looks exactly like last year.
It did.
And it's always sequences. It's like 3-4 plays in a row, crap. And then all of a sudden they get going again. Then all 3-4 plays. You can tell when he's calling the plays. That's a bad thing. They better stay away from it. That guy is the single biggest issue with this team. He will cost this team games. He almost cost this team games last week. He cost us Atlanta. We should be 3-0. To me, he is the biggest threat to the Eagles. Not the pass rush. It's him.
How about this, Mark? Did Mike McCarthy make calls over Kellen Moore when did Kellen have autonomy himself, or did Mike? I was under the impression Mike sat back and let Kellen run the entire operation. So when Kellen gets in front, Philly, he lied at the press conference because I agree with Mark because I remember one of the things that was upsetting to McCarthy when he got the job, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, was that Kellen Moore had total autonomy on calling the plays and Mike McCarthy was in the wings there. And Mike always wanted it to get back. So when Kellen was talking yesterday, he was lying.
Here's what happened with that situation was Mike McCarthy gets hired. Kellen Moore is the anointed son that you literally thought was going to be the next Jason Garrett. He couldn't go in and say, I'm going to call plays because then immediately it was going to be, well, we had a great play caller. Now you're doing it. He had to let Kellen Moore fail. And if you notice, if you went back through the press conferences after we lost in the playoffs and stuff, he would say the installer does the play calls and Kellen Moore is the installer. So he's pointing at Kellen Moore saying he's the guy that's doing all this. That way, when it failed, he could have, okay, it wasn't me. Now I can do my thing. So now you've got with your side, you don't really know who is it, Kellen Moore? Is it, Nick Sirianni? Either
Jeff
way,
Stoutland, whomever.
It made no sense that you guys are kicking after turning down close-in field goals that you're trying, a 60-yard?
That's a moron coach.
That
That's
was, I was like,
moronic
what are you
coach.
doing? Now you're going to kick the field goal?
Right. I mean, the guy literally cost us the game versus Atlanta. All he had to do was run what's his face one time and
one
win the game. Then he did everything, sells everything in his power to lose that game. He did everything in his power to lose that game. They won in spite of Nick Sirianni. Okay, and it drives me crazy. All I keep seeing is flashbacks of Buddy Ryan throwing a right hook at his offensive coordinator, and I'm waiting for it. If I'm a defensive player, I'm getting pissed off watching that. All right, I'm getting pissed off him doing those things when we're putting out a good effort on our side of the ball. And then all he's worried about at the end of the game is Jalen Carter talking shit. Let Jalen Carter talk, man. He's driving me nuts. I don't know, man. He is going to cost us. He's the biggest threat we have to this whole thing failing. And let me say this one other thing. One of the big things that they talked about last year were there too many voices talking into Jalen Hurts' ears. You have too many people telling him, do this, do that. No, you do this, do that. It doesn't, it doesn't seem like that's changed. No. Kellen Moore should be talking to Jalen Carter, his quarterback coach. But Nick Sirianni now going from, I don't call the plays to, I take the play calling here and there. I have a problem with it. I have a big problem with it.
I have a question for you, Dak Holmes.
Oh, Lord, here we go. I'm about to be careful because I had some liquor in me.
I got you. You're probably better on the air.
I have to get this off.
Hey, anyway, let me ask you this here. Why, when things go south, do you guys implode and start pointing fingers and start taking shits on each other? I mean, the fans, the players, by the way, all the super chats, I swear I'll get to them. Guy, why do you guys automatically go to the lowest common denominator where you start going after one another and you put charades on the sidelines and you just start acting so unprofessional? I mean, I don't get it. Is it because your coach doesn't have autonomy in the locker room? Is it why do you go to those lowest extremes when you're 1-2? The fucking season's not over yet, but it sure looks like in Dallas it is.
I had to tell him that this morning.
You know what? And actually, because Stills, I texted you this morning.
You did.
Because I wanted to, unlike
he was a man about it.
The fair weather fans, I said, I'm going to do the walk of shame here today, okay?
You did.
And then Philly 500 is like, oh, hey, how you doing today? Are you showing up? I was like, yeah, I'm going to be there. And I said, I actually said, I may put a bag on
Philly
my
likes
head.
taking shits on Cowboy guys, man.
He
so
actually felt sorry
understandable.
for me. But here's what Philly said, man, listen, you're only 1-2. It's early in the season. Don't put a bag on your head. Now, if you lose to the Giants, you need the bag.
Then it's over.
And it will happen tomorrow, by the way.
You want to know what the problem
money on it
in Dallas?
Big money.
Here's the real problem in Dallas is from Jerry Jones and the sales job that he does. I'm partially to blame. Me and all of us YouTubers that literally see for our own eyes that Mozzie Smith is not the guy, that the guys we signed that are journeymen over their prime, guys at the end of training camp, that they're going to be able to do the job that we haven't had done in 20 years of stopping the run.
Mark, you know what? The Eagles got the last great year out of Linville Joseph. Now when you see him,
and that's when we bring in guys. We sit there to think, well, Zeke Elliott wasn't good enough 2 years ago, but he'll be okay now after being a year in there. And we don't need a running game. You know what? We're going to pay Dak and we're going to pay CD, and both of those guys are going to give us more production because we paid them more money. We literally are the most yards in the NFL in passing. My quarterback is 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, as opposed to some of the other quarterbacks.
Two all-pro corners.
Yeah, and one is not on the field right now, and one is coming back from injury. But why would you throw in the Cowboys?
Hey, I want to stop.
Baltimore literally went 22 personnel and said, we're going to run up the middle on you. We couldn't do shit to stop it.
Hey, Mark, for a guy that knows Randy White, too tall in these guys, doomsday defense, you are doomsday. This is doomsday. No, you're doomed. It's doomed defense. I mean, there is no doubt about it here. Hey, watch this, Philly. And I'll ask Mark this one too. I feel better funny about Washington in the NFC East right now than Dallas.
Ooh. Mhm.
I had them finishing second in the division. I had Dallas finishing third. They might finish fourth now. You can't run the ball in the NFL, and you can't stop the run. You're not going to win very many games, and they can't do
and you have
either.
one weapon to throw.
There was one guy and there was one video I did in the off season, and I said, "There's one player I do not want the Cowboys to get this all season, and that was Saquon Barkley. If he goes to Dallas, it's a completely different team.
Or Henry.
Henry.
Oh.
But they didn't, and they have no running game. What are you guys averaging? Like 3-point-something yards?
Hey, by the way, Philly, Henry lives in Dallas.
I know.
Henry,
he wanted to go there.
It gets worse. He bought a second house in Dallas. He bought a second house in Dallas and said, I want to play there.
Then he comes in.
Jerry freaking Jones wouldn't even pick up the phone and say,
God, I love Jerry. I love Jerry.
Hey, and he puts 155 on him.
This is what fucking pisses me off because
I love Jerry Jones
Jerry
so
might have
much.
said, you know what? I'm going to give you a home team discount since I have 2 freaking homes in Dallas. I'd like to play there because that's where I live. Maybe I'll go for $5 million a year, and we're sitting here paying Trey Lance $5.4 million guaranteed. Zeke Elliott $2.5 million, and you're sitting here saying, "Well, we couldn't afford Derrick Henry." Because here's the bullshit. I'm losing my mind here. Forgive me for losing it on your channel. It's the bullshit of Jerry Jones trying to sell. He is the modern day P.T. Barnum.
Pull out a sandwich.
Trust the process. We got the best coaching.
Pull out a sandwich.
You can't blame Mike McCarthy. Okay, because he's not given the tools. We turn on Dan Quinn, who actually was doing shit with smoke and mirrors and saying, that guy's an idiot. All we need is a new coach. You bring in Mike Zimmer and you end up depleting the defense. And guess what? It's even worse. Why? Because you don't have the players, because Jerry Jones is sitting here talking about how big somebody's shit is.
Where the glizzy?
Go
get yourself a glizzy.
Hey, wait a minute.
Get yourself a glizzy.
He's got 8.5 inch. Oh, he's got an 8.5 inch dick too. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
Hey,
I love Jerry Jones.
I know. Hey, man. Hey,
Jerry Jones is my favorite.
I'd rather take a paternity test than trade Michael Parsons.
I love Jerry Jones.
Offseason.
He's awesome.
Hey, Billy, how you feeling about your boy Jalen Carter? I'm gonna tell you why I'm pissed off at him. You can't show me the effort you gave me in Atlanta and then turn around and put an effort like you did in New Orleans and not put that back to back and start being a pro every week in and week out.
That's the thing with him, right? Maturity. He's got to learn back to back. I mean, that's what the greats do. I'm telling you, Sills, I saw flashes of Jerome Brown out there.
He is. He's got.
I mean, he has that ability to dominate, right? And I thought he was. I mean, he was unstoppable. He was the best player on the field. And I thought Jordan Davis was pretty good, Yeah,
he was.
But and here's the thing: you still got no sacks by your edge rushers, though, at all. So it just shows you if you could get a pass rush going and you get some support with the edge, that defensive line will be pretty good. But I mean, I'm very happy with what I saw from Jalen Carter.
You know what I saw flashes of?
Your offense is not. You got to have a lot of questions about your offense.
You know what I saw flashes? You know what I saw flashes of Mozzie Smith? He reminded me of Charlie Brown. When Lucy takes the football away and he just falls flat on his face.
Listen,
he sucks so bad. It's unbelievable how mad of a miss that is. Get this, the Cowboys are getting destroyed on the run. He was drafted to stop that. He didn't have to put 10 sacks on.
But
he just had to stop the run.
And that run game, though, teams are running on them, has totally neutralized Micah Parsons. I mean, Parsons has done nothing.
He's right.
He's got a podcast.
He skipped the podcast. Okay. And then he talks about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Who's he? Who is he? C.J. Gardner-Johnson played in a Super Bowl, played some big games that he's never played in. So, come on.
It is affecting the game, that run defense. What were you saying about the Eagle before you get inebriated, I want to get you on record here.
relate
What were
to
you
that.
saying about the Eagles offense?
You got to. I mean, listen. I'm going to say Saquon is the real deal.
Yeah, you know what? I got him.
You know,
I got him in my MVP race right now.
And I can't disagree with that. I'm a hater. I hate the freaking Eagles. But what you guys do is the thing that the Cowboys detest the most is you look and say, where can we get a playmaker? Instead of the Cowboys doing that, they say, well, we can't afford that. We believe in our own guys. Well, I hate to tell you, Steven, your own guys failed last year in the playoffs. You turning around and basically saying, we believe in our guys, we're going to hold on to these guys. We can't afford anybody else. You are spinning your wheels in a league that now, here's our problem right now. Defensive coordinators, they evaluate what you do and do well. Dak to CeeDee Lamb, one of the best combinations in football. There is nobody to take the pressure off CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb contested
Would you
passes.
trade for T. Higgins?
Yes, Yes, I would. I would look for another weapon because
he's not going to be.
No, it would. It actually would, because here's the thing. Let me give you some statistics here. Contested passes. CeeDee Lamb has got 39% contested passes compared to 15% last year. He's getting blanketed coverage because nobody cares about your running game. Nobody has got a fear that we need to put 8 men in the box, even if you're in 22
I told
personnel.
you Ricky Ricardo wasn't going to cut it, man. I mean, that's what.
Do you feel better now? Do you feel better shitting on me in my misery?
No,
that I am literally just feeling like shit?
No, I got still more
that
to
I am
go.
literally rock bottom.
Yeah,
that
I have
I
more
am
to go
here
too.
drinking.
Get a glizzy, Mark.
And Jerry Jones is making me. Do you feel better now?
No, you need like 12 dozen donuts right now. That's
needs
what
a
you need, or
glizzy.
some Krellers. That's what I'm saying. I get it, man.
They need
I'll
a running
Jerry
back.
about those glizzies, okay?
They need a running
back.
back.
To have rosies, okay?
So wait a
They
minute
need
now.
a running back.
So you going into this Buck game this week with, get this, Mark, it's going to be these guys. Your wide receivers are going to be Jahan Dotson, Paris Campbell.
First down.
And guess who
First
else?
down.
Johnny Wilson. And you're going into Tampa Bay with those stiffs, and you got Barkley and Goddard. Now, again, NFL's a war of attrition league. I mean, as great as that New Orleans game is, plus you may not have Lane. Grade 1 concussion.
Well, I don't think no way Lane.
No way he's playing.
Wasn't he throwing up on the sideline?
No, Lane Johnson was throwing up on the sidelines.
Yeah. Grade 1 concussion.
Devontae should be playing. That was the most cheap bullshit I've ever seen.
Well,
Not only
concussion protocol.
how does the ref not blow the whistle? The guy
The
literally
Saints are known for that.
Yeah, they are. But here's my fear going into this game. My fear isn't even losing this game. My fear is that they rush AJ Brown back because they don't have a receiver and he's not 100%.
Hey, Diane Rossini was told by him. Now, from the time he missed, that he's going to be out between 3 to 6. You know what that leads into? If it's 6, that rolls into the Cowboy game.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be out that long. I think you sit him out this week, then you have your bye week. To me, I'm more concerned about the bye week. I said this was my plan: just be 2-2 at the bye. Now they did that. They beat New Orleans. Can they beat Tampa? Yeah, I think they can. And why? Because you're going to run Barkley 45 times.
Absolutely,
you're going to win. But listen, they know what you're going to do. You got the offensive line. You got those guys that can do it. Even you lose Lane and you lose Becton and Johnson.
Red Johnson and Tyler Steen.
They played great. They played great. But the thing with Barkley, and I knew Barkley would be good if he ever went to a town team. He looks he looks fast, elusive. He's
fly in the
scary.
ointment.
There's no doubt. Hey,
can I be a fly in the ointment?
Mark, here's the deal. 73 touches right now, in my opinion. He's on pace for over 400. He'll never last.
No.
You
have to cut it
That is
back.
the fatal flaw that now everything is going through Barkley.
It is.
And
you have to do it.
If he
gets
hurt, you're fucked.
Well, of course. Who are we going to bring in? Kenneth Gainwell? Come on. No Gainwell?
We'll
No.
trade to
The
Zeke.
drop off between look, Gainwell's better than Zeke, but You know,
and Rico Bataldi, whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah, but the thing is you got to use Barkley right now. You got to use him, and then you got to back off him, then you got to use him again.
Hey, Philly 500, Tyler Guyton. I saw him. You know where I saw him? Over at Lincoln Financial. He was a turnstile.
Pile on now. Pile on.
He was a turnstile for like the VIP box guys when you go up to the third deck at Lincoln Financial.
Mark, save some liquor because I'm telling you what, I think
Giants. I got fans that are
will
sending me
win.
bottles. Okay.
I think the Giants will win.
Tyler Guyton is a turnstile right now.
Turnstile.
Here's the only thing that I will say that gives me hope. Okay, is
let me know.
It's early in the season,
yes,
and you've got a new defense that maybe people are still feeling it out and trying to figure out where it is. That we will get back Deron Bland probably in another 2 weeks. That'll help us. And I look around the NFL, teams are getting beat up. San Francisco's not running away with it. You got Christian McCaffrey going to Germany and stuff. I don't know that Sam Darnold is going to be able to keep this up for a season. Maybe I'm wrong.
Mark,
and
you know,
there's still a chance.
The Niners, they have beaten the Niners and the Texans in back-to-back weeks. I mean, we're not talking about.
But this is the Niners that are full strength, you know. And the Eagles, you guys are getting some injuries here.
We're getting the injuries hopefully out of the way. But, I mean, you could say that about the league every year, no matter what. It's a war of attrition. Every year is like that. The question is how does Dallas beat the good teams where you can't stop the run? How are you going to stop Saquon Barkley? How are you going to stop Josh Jacobs? How are you going to stop
Barkley may stop himself.
Barkley may stop himself. You're wishing and hoping that he's going to get hurt.
As much as you are relying on Barkley, you have to look at your quarterback that is a turnover machine right now.
I could say that
your
about
quarterback may be your problem.
How many interceptions does your quarterback have?
2.
How many does mine have?
Your guy has 4 turnovers.
My guy
has 4 turnovers.
My guy has 3 interceptions
and a fumble.
Boneheaded fumble. One fumble.
Okay,
your guy fumbled and got it back. He fumbled twice that I remember that went right to Dallas Cowboys players.
All right. Well, we'll see.
So
when
you're claiming some throne of greatness by Dak. One less interception.
Wait.
Come on,
Philly. Are you concerned with this number here? Since Shane Steichen has been the coordinator in the building, these numbers are here with him. He's got the most turnovers of any quarterback. And let me give him all. Let me give you all the numbers here. He's got the most turnovers in 2 years versus any quarterback in the NFL. And I'm going to read you this from Fox here. Since Shane Steichen, 230 yards passing. His touchdowns, he's thrown 26 and thrown 20 interceptions. His passer rating is 88, and his giveaways, as I said, is the most in the NFL in 2 years. So he's thrown 26 touchdowns and 20 interceptions since last year. I mean, are you concerned about that?
Yeah, no, of course. I'm not saying like you can ignore the statistic. What I'm saying is that he can't sit there and claim how great Dak is. He's got one less interception. All right. I tell you this.
I don't think Dak's been the problem in Dallas, though.
No, Dak's not the problem. It's not the playoffs. If it's the playoffs, then Dak will be the problem. But it's not the playoffs. But the problem for the Cowboys is the only way they can win is Dak's got to throw because they're always playing from way behind. So he pads his numbers. That whole second half was a bunch of bullshit play. It was padding his stats the whole second half of the last 2 games. Okay?
We got people calling. We got people calling.
You're telling me that great New Orleans offense we only gave up 12 points against us? They went 44 points. I thought that secondary was supposed to be better.
Take a look at the injury sheet on there. Look at how many guys the Cowboys knocked the F out of that game and softened them up for you.
For who? Are you kidding me?
Guys like Tyson Hill.
So you're claiming Eagles victory to the Cowboys. Boy, you have
bro,
hit a new
bro,
low.
Bro,
A new
take
low.
a look at the injury. Oh, yeah, that's fine. You know
Dude,
what?
I'm gonna let you know what you better get
I'm
that
biding
bag ready.
my time
Get that
because
bag
there's
ready
going to
because
be a
it's coming
time
out Thursday
that
night.
I'm going to
The
come in
Giants are
here
winning.
with the shit-eating grin.
You're
Where
gonna
I'm going to be
lose
like
tomorrow
Jerry
night.
Jones, and I'm going
And
to say,
I'm gonna be
"How about
I'm
them
gonna be
Cowboys, eh?"
streaming it. I'm gonna have the
Okay.
Mark Holmes meltdown cam. You're gonna be
Yes.
gorging on glizzies, on sandwiches. You
Hey,
better stock your fridge.
Now,
Mark,
because you're gonna be a
bro,
lot.
You
you
could
know,
be 2-2, both of you
They're
come
gonna
Monday.
I know that's the
They're
thing
gonna
about
be
that's the
they're gonna
worst
be
thing
1
about
and
it.
3. They're losing tomorrow. They're gonna lose.
They're going to
Are
lose
you-
to the
And,
Giants.
and
Wait
they
a minute,
lose because
hold
because
on
of that
here.
dumb comment he made about the
Wait.
Saints.
So
about
let me
weakening the
ask
Saints.
you, Philly, are you putting your money on the Cowboys losing with Bet US tomorrow?
I already did. Yeah, $100 bet. I
You
took
put
the Giants and the over. I took the money line, not even the points. I took Giants money line and the over 45. I got $100 on it. Bet US.
What do you?
Shout out
Hey,
to them.
what happened?
Listen, I'm putting my dad's money on it.
How about
Yeah.
How about
I'm his
how
bookie.
about you?
Okay.
What do you see tomorrow night for the Cowboys against the Giants?
I hope I see. What do I hope?
No,
I see, or what
no
will I see?
fucking hope. No hope. Which is this ain't a hope game. They got a hope
The
chest.
Cowboys have owned Daniel Jones. I hope they don't walk in there thinking, we got this, like they did with Green Bay last year, and they get their lunch handed to them.
In the Meadowlands.
I hope that this is the Cowboys go in there and they mollywop them and get themselves a couple extra days to get ready for the Steelers. If they don't, then this shit is going to go downhill fast. This is a desperation bowl right here. This is the battle of the basement bitches right now. And the loser starts planning on next year.
How about you, man? Buccaneers on Sunday. Ton of injuries heading into this football game. Todd Bowles is one of the great coordinators, bringing pressure. Really stymied Jalen into
I feel
playoffs.
like it's
Is this a 60-minute game in your opinion? Is this a fourth Philly? Is this a fourth quarter game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very similar to the New Orleans game. I do. But I think that defense is going to step up again. See, the one thing about the defense that I like is, Vic Fangio runs it. Nobody's questioning him. He's the guy. He does it. I think the struggles that the Eagles had on the offensive far are because you have too many people talking and collaborating instead of letting Kellen Moore just go to work and do his thing. And the one thing I'll say about Jalen Hurts is, yeah, you're right. The turnovers, he's got to cut that down. But you know what? He has a way. And the it factor with him is that despite those turnovers and things that he does in a game, he finds a way to win at the end. So he finds a way to come back. And that's one thing the Cowboys, especially Dak, can't do in pressure situations.
Mark, I will say this. The difference between him and Trevor Lawrence is that Trevor Lawrence loses in turnovers. But, he may have a ton of turnovers right now, but he's still winning. And as you're going through all the new responsibilities, if I'm the Eagles, I got to think that that's going to get better. He's not going to continue that trend like that because the one thing he does do, you know what he does late in games? I thought he was better late in the game against New Orleans when they lost Devontae because he had to spread the ball around and he found Goddard coming across the middle of the field and he was able to get open. I think some of these guys, look at Josh Allen, the way he plays, Mark. And you know what I think hurts Dak Prescott? CeeDee Lamb. I would trade his ass in a second. And I'll tell you why.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Check this out.
He checks out.
Listen to this here. Josh Allen's a better quarterback right now because he doesn't have a target, Stephon Diggs, that's worried about numbers, worried about yards. He's spreading the ball around. He's a better ball player. Look at what you got in Kansas City. There's no top flight wideout. They've developed that guy. The quarterback is the guy. He's the engine.
The guy's something else.
That CeeDee Lamb is holding Dak back.
When you actually look, here's how pathetic it is, because when the Cowboys were actually beginning to make some hay, it was when CeeDee Lamb was basically benched in this game. And when you look at the NFL right now, when has the big diva wide receiver been in the Super Bowl? It's always the team with the great tight ends.
Not in it, but won it. I mean, Mike Evans didn't get that big deal. Maybe Cooper Kupp, but you're right. Look, Devontae Adams has never been the one. Justin Jefferson's never been the one. AJ's been to one, but he didn't have that giant. Well, he had a $25 million deal.
He had
but
a good
didn't
game
win it.
though. AJ
He
Brown
did.
played great.
Well, what I'm
Devontae
saying
Smith
is,
played great.
but what I'm saying is, Philly, the majority of the teams that win these Super Bowls don't have that. I mean, look at
They
Kansas
don't.
City. Look at the dynasties in the last 25 years. New England and Kansas City. Name me a high-profile wide receiver. Tyreek Hill
No.
didn't have that giant contract. He got it in
Well,
Miami.
he-
You
but he
didn't
was
have
still-
one big-time wide receiver in New England when they won a Super Bowl. People go Randy
No.
Moss. Randy Moss didn't win a
No,
Super Bowl.
He
in
didn't
New
win a
England.
Super Bowl with them.
And
Yeah.
all they're better now in Kansas City without
And
who
that's
was
true.
guess what? Guess who was voted the #1 NFL player by the players? Tyreek Hill. So you're telling me Kansas City's better without the
Yeah,
best
well,
player
that's-
in the league?
Look,
crazy
you know,
is that?
Mahomes is the best player in the league. You know, I think Mahomes is the exception to the rule
He is.
of pretty much everything. You got Mahomes, and then there's nobody close. And Mahomes can take basically average guys and make them better. He's
Yeah.
just that good. And look, you guys won 3 Super Bowls already. I can't say anything bad about him.
Been to 4.
But I mean, but I don't think there's anybody else in the league that can do that. I do think Josh Allen extremely talented, and maybe I don't believe Josh Allen's a choke or anything. I think that playoff game where it was him and Mahomes going back and forth showed me he can win in a big game. But that team, we'll see what they do.
Well, they got
I
a
mean,
big
I just
schedule
think there's
coming
such a
up.
big drop. I think other guys.
Can I interject for a
quarterbacks
second?
need talent around them. I
Can
think they
I
need
interject
talent.
for a second?
Yeah.
See, here's the reality of football. You know, we all want to be able to say that you have one guy that can do it or that it's just the quarterback. The reality is you got to be balanced across the board. You can't be top heavy at one spot. The best thing you could do is make it so that way all of these guys are nonchalant like Josh Allen is right now, because there's not one guy to stop. Teams know if I stop CeeDee Lamb, there's nobody else that's going to beat us. We had literally CeeDee Lamb with 1,000 yards more than anybody else. You don't have a running game. You don't have anybody else. If we can focus on one guy, and that's the thing that works good for your Eagles, although you have to worry about it with A.J. Brown, is now you've got a running game with Saquon who can
that's
catch.
right.
You've got Devontae. You've got
Mark.
Dallas Goedert. You can move the ball around. There's not one guy to stop.
Mark, the best thing ever happened to the Eagles is that AJ got hurt.
It'll teach them.
You know why?
Yeah.
Right. What you're doing is establishing a role early. We know what AJ can do, right? Do you know how good this fucking team will be by
When he
week
comes
10?
back.
When
Yeah.
he comes back, and they have already I mean, think about it, Philly. You're establishing a role. At the beginning of the year, everyone was like, what is his role going to actually be? Are you going to give him 20 carries? Are you going to do this? Now you know what this guy's role is on this offense. And when you I've got to tell you something, my guy. You better go to that pint now, man, because I'm going to tell you something.
I
When
killed the
AJ
bottle.
comes back and Devontae comes back and they have to find a role for Barkley and he's not hurt, you're gonna be whiskey Jimmy.
Right.
Because they're gonna be a scary team.
That's why you got to play.
Can we
it
get
safe
a rum
with AJ Brown.
sponsor in here?
No, man, you're getting
That's
the
why-
fuck out of here, all of you. Hey, listen, you two guys were sensational today. I mean, absolutely great. I'll tell you why. And hey, Mark, I got to hand it to you, man. Way to go to the walk of shame. Your Cowboys better win that Giant game, man. Or guess
Not
what?
happening.
You know
You know what?
greatest thing? The Cowboys losing is the greatest content on the planet. The Cowboys winning, I don't know.
Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? No. I got some shit to say to you fucking Eagles right now. I got some shit to say right now. There are
Cut 'em off. Mute 'em.
604 people in here in Dan Sileo show watching me do the fucking walk of shame. And there's only 221 likes? Y'all are a piece of shit. You should be loving this damn show and be thankful that Dan Sileo literally talked about who the hell is Mark Holmes to bring him in here. If you do not get these likes over 500 people, you ain't shit.
I believe you were wearing your grandma's panties or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
grandma's
all I have to
panties.
say
No,
about
wife's
that.
panties. Wife's panties.
Yeah, Mark.
There.
You keep poor Mark. Mark's. I don't think he's going to make it to this year. He's on the
I
verge
might
of a
not.
breakdown.
Do they win? Do they win on Sunday finally, Philly, against the Bucs?
I think they're going to pull out a close one, like another 15-12 type game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think it's going back and forth. I think they're going to win, and I think the reason again is going to be Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter, another big game. You know, the one thing about the Buccaneers is they've given up 12 sacks in
they're middle of the road with statistics all over the
place. So
place.
maybe we could get if Jalen Carter and Davis play the way they did, I think we're going to win this game. But
as long as they don't play like Mozzie Smith, they're good. That's all
no,
I give.
You got to use Barkley though too.
Hey, Mark, your Cowboys win tomorrow, right? At the Meadowlands. They win, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, we get a win.
He's got to take a shot of courage before he ends up. This guy's got to take a shot of fucking courage.
We have to get a win, or else I'm going to be missing in action. That's all I can say.
We got a tough schedule coming up. They got a tough schedule coming up. They got to win this game. They got Pittsburgh, right? You got Pittsburgh still. You got the Niners. You got the Falcons.
If the Cowboys can get a win here, you get a little bit of a breather. Okay, mini bye week because it is a Thursday night game. You've got the Steelers. I don't know that the Steelers are that great, but maybe we go ahead and get Deron Bland back, and maybe we luck out and get a win there. The thing is through this rough stretch, the Cowboys have to be 500. We have to be 4-4.
Mark better build the time machine because he's got a problem. They don't have a running back.
I can't agree with. Can't disagree with that.
Where's Dalvin Cook? Can't you sign Cook?
Oh my God! Don't.
Why is he?
What? You're like sticking needles in my neck here, bro. It's crazy every week. Well, you
want to hear it?
We ain't gonna bring Dalvin Cook back just yet.
You want to hear a Cowboy stat?
I do.
They haven't won multiple playoff games any respected year in 29 years.
Dan.
Oh my God.
Fuck you, man.
29 years they haven't won multiple playoff games in 1 year.
And at this rate, it's going to be another 29 because Jerry Jones is going to live for at least.
Well, he ain't living that long.
Years.
He's
already 12,000 years old right now.
Are you having fun here at my behalf?
Now I am.
I'm having a blast.
Okay. That's your boy, Stephen Jones. They're the ones that brought us this shit here. Okay. They're the ones that said we can do more with less. Okay.
And now you have to pay for it.
Yeah. I'm the one taking the shots for the damn Cowboys.
The best.
Well, I'm getting laughed at.
The best Dallas Cowboys show in the city of Dallas goes to Mark Holmes. I will give that to you because those radio shows blow out loud. Believe me, they're all knee scrapers in that town, always kissing up to Jerry. And you guys, I love what you guys do because you speak it from your heart. Mark, thanks so much. He always shows up, man. By the way, dude, kudos. You're 1-2. Act like it. You're not fucking 1-7.
No, tomorrow you start panicking. Bag comes out.
You know why? You know why, Philly? He wanted to win games.
Hey,
remember when Dak Holmes over here was going like this after the Cleveland game?
Yeah.
Now look at him. Strong.
Yeah, I keep thinking about last week when he came on all happy. He was so happy after a loss.
Yeah, he was happy because the Eagles got murdered.
Because the Eagles lost. He didn't care.
God.
Now it's different. But I think they lose tomorrow. I do. I think I have a weird feeling the Giants are going to win this game.
He's bet US a C note that the Cowboys.
I did. I already bet it. I bet it, Sills. Hey, Sills, I bet $250 last week on Baltimore and the over. I took Baltimore and the over because there's no way they're going 0-3. Oh, they had a big hit, big. I'm on a roll. So Giants money line and the over tomorrow. Giants going to win. Daniel Jones is going to tear it up. Mark's going to be tearing them glizzies up.
See, this is
the
rock
ready,
stuff. You're going to need the rock stuff after this tequila.
I think I need to go to the liquor store before tomorrow. That's what I need to do.
Hey, guys, you guys were great. Philly, tell them where they can find you, please.
Just type in Philly 500 or something about Mark Holmes. I'm sure I'll come up there too, since I'm on his show like every night anyways. He plays clips of me constantly.
Hey, Mark, how the folks can find you. And so thank you very much for coming.
If the Cowboys lose to the Giants, it'll be in the gutter. Okay. But other
You
than
guys,
that,
I
Cowboy
appreciate
Joe Boo or Joe Boo Sports Report.
Thanks
We
for having
appreciate
us.
you, Dan. And get them damn lights up, you loser ass Eagle
There you
fan.
go. There you go. That's how you deal with it. Way to go. Thank you,
Sorry ass
guys.
biatches.
You got it, man. Thank you, guys. Very good. Great stuff as always. I got to hand it to Mark, man. Really awesome him stepping up here. Xander, let's do this before we take the time out here, man. Let's get all these super chats up here, too. You guys were fantastic. I would like to see Howie trade for Trey Hendrickson. I'm not sure he would do that because Howie's ego will get in the way. Absolutely, because you spent $51 million on Bryce Huff. So, yes, that is an ego move there. Let's go to the next one, Xander. Mark talked too much about Allen, but Dak can't elevate with more talent. Everyone says Dallas is talent. Don't tell Mark that. Anything but Dak's fault. I think he's blaming him a little. Rookies Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe are struggling big time, Beebe especially. Teal has not gotten better since the contract. Martin is now human. Dallas is in trouble. I agree with you, Jay. I think they're in big trouble, especially if they put a shitty performance up. They got the Steelers on the flip side of that Giants game. Xander, appreciate the work you do for us. I want to know if the Eagles keep winning, but bad decisions still. What happens to Sirianni? Sirianni's going to run through the tape this year. They're not firing him. There's not a chance in hell they would fire him, Jason. Let's go to the next one. Is that it? There's Xander on the C here. Got Giants running back on fantasy. He'll run for 200 yards on Dallas. Man, Saquon Barkley is having a great year. Seals offseason, Barkley ain't the guy. He's a bum. Henry's way better. Well, Henry is. Seals week 3, Barkley is my MVP. He absolutely is too. I really believe Jerry Jones wants to win his way so bad that he would pick one Super Bowl his way to say, look at me, versus the 4 Super Bowls with another general manager making decisions. Yeah, he would. Yes. The problem that you have here, Jay, is that Jerry Jones can't stomach the fact that those Super Bowls were built by Jimmy Johnson and not him. That's what is in his ego, is that he can't get over the fact that he didn't build those teams. Love Mark. Who does Belichick go to, Philly or Dallas? I got actually a list here. Kimberly, if you're Bill Belichick, would you coach Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Philly, or Dallas? I mean, Zach Taylor's not going to survive if they don't make the playoffs. You're not that organization is too cheap. Jacksonville's not going to keep Doug Peterson if they're losing this way. So, I think Bill Belichick is and Mike Vrabel are going to have more options. Go ahead, Xander. You guys are great, man. Jalen has 4 INTs. We saw that one. Give Josh Allen, CD, Cooks, and Jake Ferguson. He'd go crazy if he had that, Jay. Mark, we Eagles fans ready. He'll push you off the cliff. Hurts will be better year 2 in this system. Agreed. Salute the Big Seals for keeping it real about Philly. Thank you, Jerron. I appreciate that. Really cool. Philly 500 wants to puke listening. Maniac with a real take. Okay. Here's Jerron here. Salute the Big Seals. We got it. Very good. You guys, your super chats have been sensational. Have they not today, Xander? Really, the first 3 days of the week, you guys have just absolutely murdered it. Do me a favor. Please hit the likes. Huge Monday. Really good Tuesday. Let's get these likes up. I'd like to see by the end of the hour that we could be up near 350. Thank you, Abe. I appreciate it. We're going to reset here. We'll go back over a little bit of what we heard. And again, we'll set up a little bit about, again, moving forward with Kellen Moore. I'm concerned about Kellen Moore. I am. I do. Flexin, you like what with Big Sills? Come on, man. JAKIB is king. Like it. Very good. Hey, guys, where are we on the like? Where are we on the like button? I saw someone giving me shit here, like list. All right. Hey, so I'm not internet savvy. Give me a break. Sills, I say Cincinnati, they just need their defense fixed. Cincinnati, then you have to worry about Burrow being healthy. $299. Guys, let's see if we can get that bad puppy to $350. That would be great to end the program with. Please hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sills. Please hit the like button. You guys are killing it today. Here is the injury list here. A.J. Brown, hamstring, did not participate. Lane Johnson, concussion, did not participate. Devontae, concussion, did not participate. Micaiah Becton, finger, limited practice. Landon Dickerson, wrist, limited participation. Darius Slay, full participation. I believe that's what that says. So that's a great sign on Slay. So, wow. AJ and Devontae, it's a strong chance they're not going to be playing against the Bucs this weekend. Johnny Wilson, Jahan Dotson, steal of the century. Who's the other guy? Oh, yeah, Paris Hilton. So you got Paris Hilton playing wide out. You got Jahan Dotson, steal of the century. And you've got Johnny Wilson. Wow. Against the Bucs. I feel great. Holy shit. Brian's like, thank God the bye's coming up after the Bucks. No shit. I hated that bye too, man. Dude, I did. I've never seen a team luck into a bye more that was needed. I wanted that thing about shit. Week 8, the Eagles they'd be fielding their practice squad team. Thank God it is here, man. Guys, hit that like button for me. Seals, is A.J. Brown injury serious that the Eagles are more serious than the Eagles are telling us? Joe, here's what you got to worry about with a hamstring injury. It's a great question. Is it up in the stomach or is it down low in the groin? If it's up in the stomach, you're talking about more of a serious hamstring injury. That affects your back as well. Okay? So for him to miss this amount of games, already 2, I think it's pretty significant of a hamstring injury. Like, this is not a tweak. You know, you could tweak your hamstring and still kind of rough through it. Or if they want, they can hold you out a game or a week of practice and put you in the game and run limited routes. It just seems to me that this is a more serious, and I mean, the higher up the hamstring injury, like if you start to get these hamstring injuries where it starts to affect up into your groin and then also up into your stomach, those are 3 to 6. And that's why with the bye coming around the corner, I'm thinking, I'm not going to play a doctor. I'm just telling you, having been around all these guys that have this kind of stuff, it all depends. Like I said, with concussions are limited also in how you can evaluate them. Dude, you can get your head and bell rung and have a stinger. We used to call them stingers. Well, they're concussions. And in about 48 hours, that shit goes away. You're all good. Everything's great. Okay? Now, grade 2 concussion, that's a little bit more where you got a little bit of headaches and your neck hurts, your back hurts, and you're achy. And, you know, you're a little bit foggy, but not crazy foggy. A grade 1 concussion is this. Here, let me give you guys an example. Okay. Have you guys, you know, when you swim in a swimming pool too long, you know, and you have that haze over your eyes, you know, you're in a swimming pool too long. And that haze you have because you've been swimming too long and, you know, you have that haze. That's what a grade 1 looks like when you're looking at it through your eyes. It looks like there's a haze that you have. Bright lights kill you. Big sounds kill you. Even the sounding of your feet moving hurt. Because when you step, you're making noise in your head. It's almost like you got your ears plugged like this too. You've got like earplugs in. You can't hear anything. And all you hear is your inner workings. Your feet hitting the ground, your hands hitting the table. You got like, you're in a swimming pool, you're looking up and you're like, wow, man, why is it all foggy and shit? I've been swimming too long. So you can put your fingers in your ears, and that's how it sounds to a guy with a grade 1 concussion. So it's really kind of dangerous. Okay? It's really kind of dangerous. I had Dr. Bennett Amalo on my show, the guy who did the movie that Will Smith did. And he told me, look, a concussion, no matter what you do to it, and no matter what the helmet is, it's like an egg in a glass of water. Okay? It doesn't matter. The head's going to move. And the brain is going to move. No matter what the helmet is. There's no bearing. It looks good. They got all these fancy little holes over it. It doesn't matter. The brain moves in contact. When you hit the ground or you hit another player, your brain moves. The helmets are incidental. Does it stop you from bleeding and getting cuts? Does it stop the significance of maybe a higher impact hit? Of course it does. But at the end of the day, your brain moving, whether it's high impact, lower impact, keep moving the brain, you're causing CTE. No matter what you do, no matter how many helmets you have or design, the only way that you would be able to help a guy's brain is if you had a Hans device. And that's how you played with it. You know, the race car drivers? Dr. Bennett Amalo says it's the neck that moves. and then slams your head, causes the brain to move. No matter what the helmet is. So don't let the NFL fool you with these well, we got a brand new $5,000 helmet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Has no impact on whether or not you're going to get CTE or not. Sills, it feels like you're walking make you feel like you're in another person's body. You don't feel like the same person. No, and plus it's like you're in a cave or some shit. It's crazy. It is. It really, it's pretty painful if you have a grade 1. I've had one grade 1. I would say probably in my life concussions, 10, something like that, maybe 10. Okay, 10 concussions. Okay, not. I've had only one that was serious. The rest of them, 3s, maybe a 2. Most of them 3s. Get your bell rung. Go over to the sidelines. Hey, I told you guys a story one time. I walked off the field. I had it was a 2 concussion. I remember looking over at my coach going like this. He asked me, he goes, how you doing? Where are you? And I go, man, I like grapes in my salad. The guy started laughing at me. That was the end of me that day. Okay. I mean, let's see here. Equilibrium gets totally destroyed. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what's Lane concerns me. Yeah, let me tell you something about Lane. Hey, Xander, I'm not playing doctor. I don't want anyone to sit here and say that I'm playing doctor because I'm not. His concussion concerns me. Those are like career-ending kind of deals. They're going to be very careful to put him back on the field. My guess is not a chance in hell he plays. If he plays, I'll be shocked. Okay? I mean, that is a scary. You're vomiting, a projectile vomiting on the sidelines because you have a concussion. You got fucking major problems. I'm surprised they didn't get him off the sidelines quicker and into the locker room, settle him down. Because that noise is outside. That Superdome is insane. Did they take him right in, or did he stay on the sidelines? Because if he stayed on the sidelines with that noise being the way it is, that's actually a good sign. If he stayed on the sidelines a long time, that's actually a good sign that he stayed out there because it was fucking loud. And one of the worst things you can get in a concussion is having those loud noises like that. Lane was out during practice, so they are guessing that he is further along. Yeah, he's out there at practice, and he's milling around out there. That is a good sign. Now, he could be out there helping Fred Johnson and Tyler Steen also. Remember that, too. Okay, he could be out there for that. But if it's really serious, I doubt he'd be outside in the light. So he could be further along, like you said. Again, I'm not playing doctor here. I'm just being around guys who've had that kind of concussion here. So, Eagle fan, he left. Yeah, that kind of concerned me. But him being out of practice today is a good sign. Okay? Citizen Carson says, Tua's concussion scare me when his hands make their flexing motion. It's very scary. Never seen that. Yeah, the hockey guy, when he's doing this, you're losing all your reflexes and everything goes into paralyzation, kind of like you got, you're paralyzed and you can't move anything. You're definitely that. It is scary. And he's had multiple that. So that is scary when you lose your motor functions and you can't lift your hand up. Dude, sometimes when you get a concussion like that and it's very severe, you think you broke your arm. I was in a game in Pittsburgh, and I got a pinched nerve. I thought I broke my arm. Doctor told me I got a major concussion. I couldn't believe it. I thought I broke my arm. I couldn't lift my arm. And the doctor goes, no, it was a concussion. It paralyzed your left hand and your left arm. I sat on the sidelines. I got a picture of me and Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin came over and checked on me. I couldn't raise my arm for about 5 minutes. Then it started coming back. Still, all year long, I played with that. That shit's no shit. I mean, you got to be very careful. I did 4 or 5 CAT scans that year every week to make sure that I was getting better. They helped me out of practice a bunch of times. That stuff's no shit, man. Sills, there's a rumor that you was at a couple of Diddy parties down in Florida. Not Diddy parties, Luther Campbell parties for sure. I don't hang out with riffraff. I hang out with cool people, dog. Okay? I hang out with dudes that like chicks. You know what I mean? That's why I went to Miami and not Notre Dame. All right? That's me. Okay? I don't see. Hey, Sue, let me show you something here, Sue. Big Sills don't go to bars with dudes. I don't go to bars with dudes, hang out, talking like, you know. I don't, you know, I go to a bar with a chick. Okay. Now, if you want to bring your wife and you want to talk fantasy football and she's into it, I'm into that. But if you think I'm going to hang out with 25 dudes at a bar and you and me are just, and that's, you know, unless I'm doing something with my show, that ain't going to work. I don't go to bars with dudes, and I don't let guys cut my hair. Hey, Sue, you know what I mean? I can't let guys cut my hair. You're sitting in a barber's chair. This guy's giving you the glazed swipe, and I'm like, nah, I don't get it, guy. This is not working for me. I get a little uncomfortable, you know? I mean, you're sitting in a barber's chair, and this guy's giving you the glazed swipe. You know, he's cutting your hair, and he's like, why you have to rub your couillons on me, guy? It's not good. Guys don't cut my hair. Can't have it. Hit the like button, guys. I appreciate you guys very much. How you feeling about going into this game now? Look at the injuries, man. Sanders says this is going to be a big win. Okay? Big win. And Jalen's going to play great. He better. Oh, by the way, I want to make a comment about that. This will be a game that I am going to make a proclamation on your boy. If Jalen Hurts goes into this game with no Lane Johnson, no Micaiah Becton, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith, and he wins and plays well, this will be his best game that I've ever seen him play, including the Super Bowl. You know why? He has to be the star because there are no stars on his team. Barkley, you have to have somebody. Mahomes has Kelsey. So he has Barkley and him, Goddard. This will be a game where you guys get to come out on a Monday and go, hey, Sills, fuck you. He won it. He won it with nobody. This is a nobody game for him. He ain't got him. This is a big moment for me with him. He wins that game and he doesn't look shitty. How about this? If he looks great in a loss and they lose by a point, that'll go far. Yeah. Jalen Hurts struggles from the same thing Brock Purdy struggles from. You know what that is? He's got a great roster. Josh Allen is being pushed ahead right now because why? He's winning with nobody. And I happen to agree with you guys. I give you guys a lot of shit about Josh Allen. The team hasn't played anybody worth of shit. They're 3-0. Okay. They're killing teams. Sure. Allen's played great. Well, you got the Ravens coming up, and you got a big schedule coming up here. I think the Steelers are on that side of the schedule coming up as well. You got some pretty big teams coming up for Josh Allen. You got to win some ball games here, son, against some big teams. And people are going to be even more impressed with Josh Allen if he wins against the Ravens, Steelers. You know, their schedule's getting tougher here now. They got a 3-game stretch where he's going to be counting on to make games or make plays and win. This is a game here, like I said, for Jalen. Dude, best thing happened was also Nick Sirianni in a way, because Jalen doesn't really have to hear the inconsistency that he's played with this year. You know what really is crazy? People would go, Sills, Jalen's not really played that bad. Well, turnovers determine outcomes of games, but it hasn't happened yet for the Eagles. It will. Jalen Hurts goes into this game, has 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, throws for 190 yards, rushes for 120, and they get a win. Huge game. Huge game. Huge. Be a massive win. This game's going to be close, not because the Bucs are good, but because you're not as good. Because why? You don't have all your people. Dude, it's not a rip. The Eagles and Bucs are pretty much the same team. And you're like, well, we got a better defensive tackles. They got better safeties. They got better wide receivers. You got a better quarterback. You got a better tight end. Will you have the better O-line? Will they put 2 weeks in a row? Remember Supetta last year had a great game against Aaron Donald? Next week he came back. What happened? He came in the earth and he got killed. Okay? Kyle says, Sills, what grade concussion does Smith have? I don't know. But just seeing him lay down like that, and for a guy that doesn't show pain and doesn't like to come off the field, I would think that that's a pretty significant injury. That guy's not going to – he's not going to – how many times have you ever seen Smitty wave someone in for him? Have you ever seen that? I'm not sure I've ever seen that. Have you ever seen Devontae Smith go like this, like some of the other wide receivers do, and say, come in for me? I don't know if I've ever seen him do that. I don't think I've ever seen him have someone come in for him. I don't ever see him taking himself out of games. I'm awake or you goes, I couldn't take seeing Smitty in that condition. It's a shitty thing, dude. Seeing your teammate down like that. That's why for me, when I saw what they were trying to do to Slay, and then on top of what happened to Devontae Smith, that Saints team was playing dirty and trying to hurt Eagle fans. Or excuse me, Eagle players. I thought the Barkley moment too, all that shit, they were playing really dirty. I thought some of the pass rushes that were low, trying to roll up, they were trying to roll up, I thought, on Hurts a couple times. They were trying to injure people out there and get them out of the game. Now, I get that. Dr. Sills, what's wrong with Becton's finger? I'm not a doctor, dude. I'm just telling you, haven't been around people who have had these things happen to them. Okay. By the way, I would say this to you, Jesse, if you have a broken finger, let me show you something, Jess. Every one of my fingers have been broken. Let me show you this one here. I got a scar on my thumb. I broke my thumb in half. Every one of my fingers have been broken. Every one of them. That one finger doesn't go straight because this is what I did. In the middle of a game, I decided to do this. I taped it this way instead of taping it this way. But I taped it this way, and that's why my finger is not straight. Okay? I lost the tip of my finger when I did a head slap. Ripped the finger and the tendons right out of my hand. Okay? Crazy Calabrese, Sills Medical Corner. No, man, not playing doctor. I'm just telling you guys that have been injured and have things happen to them. What I've seen on the field. Like I said, man, I played in 5 different leagues. I played 5 years of college, 4 years of college, 4 years of high school, 6 years of little football. Played over 20 years. I know when guys are hurt. It's not that hard. Brian Baldinger, man. I love Baldy's hand. Devontae isn't just anyone. He's our guy we drafted. He's one of the best character guys on the team, if not the best. Citizen Carson, I get it, man. Hard to see that. It is. Sills played before and still giving him a shot for what he knows. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. You really don't need your fingers. You need your thumbs. Kind of true. You want to hear something, Brian? One year, my wife will tell you, I had my eye gouged out. I broke both my thumbs. I was in a cast playing with 2 broken thumbs. And my eye gouged out. Crazy. Sills now and Sills in his playing days look so different. What happened to Father? Hey, Father Time always wins. Absolutely. Dude, I can't even walk right now. I mean, I walk with a limp. I'm not kidding. I do walk with a limp. Is it time to start having the concussion discussions regarding Lane? Seemed like he's had at least one a season for the last 5 years. You know, linemen don't bitch about anything, but certainly a concern. Michael, probably why the Eagles may not play him this coming weekend. Matthew goes, Sileo, medicine, and orthopedics. Let me see. So, okay. I've been asked in front of the entire orthopedic community in San Diego by the head doctor of the Chargers to talk about injuries and concussions. I don't know. Talking to you meatheads versus talking to the entire medical profession of orthopedics in San Diego. So when you say I'm some sort of, they hired me, paid me, and they pay me to this day to talk to the orthopedic community. How you doing? I mean, I didn't realize that until you guys said, doctors, well, okay. The doctors asked me to come in and talk concussions and talk bones and knee injuries, neck injuries. It's not a picture, dickhead. It's a plaque they made for me. Imagine that. I'm here talking to you, and the entire orthopedic community in Southern California hires me to talk to the orthopedics. And I'm talking to you meatheads, and you're going, what do you know? T. Will, that's adorable. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Right. Those my Coronas. How you doing? Sills is patient zero. Sills, I have a ton of arthritis. I get it. Oh, God. Would I do it again? Yes. Ugh. Feet kill me. Well, watch this. My wife goes like this. She goes, hey, how you doing? I go, it's terrible. How's your hip? I go, how's your feet? Would you do it again? Yeah. Shit. Yeah, look at, hey. Okay. Sills, where are the CPA shirts? Sorry, I don't subscribe to Roseman and Associates. I don't have that shirt yet. Okay. I don't. Sirianni's a bitch. Dude. Oh, man. Oh, really? You guys get upset because Big Sills has been around a little bit? I could show you a bunch more shit, but you know what? I don't want to blow myself too much because we'll be here for 8 years. Oh, man. We'll be here for 8 years if I did that. Sills, if they made a magic field to whenever you step on it, you jump back into your prime to play, would you play again? Yeah. All my bumps and bruises weren't there. And by the way, give me an injection of being smarter. Yes, please. I need the injection of being smarter. Also, dude, do you know how many things in my life I've cost myself? As Xander, he knows. Hey, Matthew. Matthew, don't listen to those guys. They want me to recognize them. They're nobodies. Look at Forte. He's got the worst takes for 4 hours of anybody in here. He'll post shit for 4 hours, praying that I acknowledge him, so then he can go back and tell his wife and put it in his little diary. Dear diary, Dan said hi. No, Dan ripped me today. Today, on September 25th, dear Forte, I'm so honored that Big Sills, he recognized me by calling me an asshole. Absolutely great. They had to get him, though, on the fake ones because it always gets him because it questions his integrity. And he hates when anything like that happens because he has receipts. I know he does. But diary, what a great day. He called me an asshole. Congratulations to you, kid. All good, man. Now you can go home and jerk yourself off for about 3 hours. It's good. You did it. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I'm awake or you? When have I ever gone light on anybody? Huh? All right, let me take a time out here. Then Forte, he can, make a little doll about me and put it lay down next to it. I got my Dan doll. Hit the like button. Keep it here now. Ball show.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save at Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, Birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods. Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Big Cells, please hit the like button. Give us a rundown of where we are right now with the likes. Cosmo said, Sills, if Peterson gets fired, would you consider bringing him in as a consultant to the team? Cosmo. By the way, Angelo Cataldi, I think, could be on tomorrow. Let me ask you something, Cosmo. What team would Doug Peterson go to if he gets fired on Monday? What team in the next couple weeks would he go to? What team? KC. That's where he would go. And Andy Reid would welcome him. Doug Peterson, Andy Reid working together in Kansas City. Okay. Yeah. That's why Kansas City is Kansas City. I like that idea of Minnesota too, but I don't know what the connection up there with that coach would be. That coach is more of a Sean McVay, Jay Gruden kind of connection, a Kyle Shanahan connection, more so than a Doug Peterson connection. You know, that's not really an Andy Reid kind of connection. You know what I mean? I mean, Big Red, him going there. I could see him there with that. I don't hate Sirianni. I don't either. My criticism is all about his position as head coach of the Eagles. I don't know him from a can of paint, nor do I care. By the way, he looks like a great dad. His kids are awesome. His daughter especially. I mean, a couple of years ago when she was at the press conference, if I were Nick Sirianni, I'd bring her back because that makes you look better. Okay? I mean, she was funny as hell. Hey, even she knew he was a buffoon. I don't hate Sirianni, but it just feels like he doesn't offer much to the team. All he has to do is to be the game manager, and he can't even do that. His speeches are lackluster. Absolutely. Nick Sirianni's daughter was funnier and better at the podium than he was. They stopped that shit. Should have kept that going, man. Made him look human. Made him look decent. But I do think Doug Peterson is, I think he's on the hot seat. I think Doug's got to win against Houston. What a tough way and place you have to go into, man. You can't be 0-4 having just given a guy $55 million. They just can't. Doug gets canned. Makes Howie look great. This is, hey, one of the reasons I posted it on my Twitter page, on my X account. Remember something, what Frank Reich said. The owner hired Nick, not Howie. The owner did. He came on our program right here, Frank Reich, and said, Jeffrey Lurie called me about Nick Sirianni. And then he recommended him. Okay? Just remember that. Xander's right. You guys showed out today, man. Absolutely incredible. By the way, the Super Chats were insane awesome. They were absolutely insane awesome. I can't thank you guys enough, man. You guys were sensational today. Been sensational through the football season so far. Man, we're already here starting week 4 next day, tomorrow, Thursday. Cowboys and Giants. That's interesting, man. Thank you guys again. You guys are really super, man. I give you a lot of shit. You give me a lot of shit. I think it's a lot of fun. Thank you again. Hit the like button, guys. Really appreciate it. Xander, Big Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see.